Welcome back to the Netherkast, episode 28. I'm Black Cyborg, as always joined by temporary username Shadaloo and Razor's Edge. How are you guys doing this week?
Not bad. I'm in the crypt right now and I'm scared. Will you hold
right.
me?
No.
Oh. That's sad.
I'm doing good. I've been watching a lot of tournament footage. A lot of the Atlanta stuff, a lot of interesting finds, really good shit.
Well, I'm not in the crypt right now. I'm not being jumped by spiders every 3 steps, so I'm pretty great.
Oh yeah, cutie icon for my troubles.
Cutie icon. The best.
It's such a kick in the ass. It really is. Oh, at least this one was cheap.
There should be like a wah-wah noise every time you unlock one.
Well, for all the ones that I seem to have acquired, I can't have too many more to go.
All right.
Do they do anything? Or, well, what's up?
Well, they
Spider.
if you
Yeah, fuck you.
if you put them in your stupid online combat card thing, then you get more gold when you win with that character.
Ah.
That's actually really good. I need to use that. That sounds useful. So endings, or do y'all want to do the gameplay stuff first?
Gameplay.
All right. Sounds like some people are having trouble with some characters. I think it's redundant at this point. People are struggling with Kung Jin. It's he's pretty good. It's a pretty good character.
I think that better way to put it would be Bojutsu is fucking brain dead.
Yeah, well, brain dead's a good word. I think it is brain dead. People are saying he needs to be nerfed. The only thing, I'm not saying nerf him. I don't even think he's the best character in the game. But maybe take away a little bit of his damage. I think people aren't used to the mid-range game yet, so they're falling for a lot of setups. I mean, granted, that whole fucking EX forward flip is safe on block and has advantage. That's dumb. That's bad design. I don't know why that's in the game. Maybe, like, in a year, people will find out he needs it, but fucking whatever. No, they won't. I'm sorry, go on.
What was that, what was the name of the tournament we were watching the other day? The one where the Quan Chi player won?
Northwest Majors.
Okay, see, I said something while you and I were watching that. I was like, man, they're not even playing the same game. Like, the guy playing Quan has to be fucking immaculate in everything he does. All Kung Jin had to do was just keep dive kicking and then spinning in a circle with his stick out.
Pretty
That's
much.
the whole match.
Spitting with his stick out. Naughty boy.
I mean, he's definitely very strong. I mean, everything seems like it can be whip punished, but another problem I have with Kung Jin is he gets punishes in this game, even if a move is, quote, punishable. Like, more than half the characters in this game have dinosaur arms, so they can't fucking reach after the fucking hit is blocked, so Kung Jin's got really good range for punishes, you know? So that's frustrating, but I think when everything's said and done, he's going to be okay. He's going to be good. I think he's going to be top 10 all the way till the end of the game's life. But I'm more worried about Quan Chi. Because that vortex combined with that zoning, that's disgusting. That's ridiculous. He's easily top 3. Easily. Right now. Again, to our listeners, I'm not saying we need to patch the game. I know a lot of people are very, trigger happy with that topic. I am saying patch it after EVO. I'm definitely saying that. And there's none of this, let's wait a year. No, this is not Marvel versus fucking Capcom 2. No, after EVO, we're fucking patching it. Because we knew, look at Injustice and MK9. Who were the good characters in the beginning? Kung Lao, good all the way till the end of the game. Who else? Fucking Cyrax, good all the way till the end of the game's run. Injustice, Aquaman, good all the way till the end of the game's run. Black Adam, good all the way till the end of the game's run. Who was shit? Fucking Joker, terrible, all the way till the end of the game's run. Catwoman, shit, all the way till the end of the game's run. You know, okay, I'm tired of this. We're not stupid. We know what's good and what's bad. Are we going to find new shit? Yes, but I'm ranting. Someone else say something.
It's combat time for Tim. Go.
It is, you know, so I get really tired of this. The game's only 2 weeks old, but I do agree with one thing. We shouldn't patch it yet. Because if people are working really hard to learn their setups and learn their properties, learning frame data, I want that to accumulate. I don't want that to be for nothing, you know? But I believe in patching conservatively. Patch very conservatively. Just do little things. MK9, they gave Cabal armor after they took away his block infinite. What the fuck? I don't know. So, but like I said, I don't think Kung Jin's best in the game. I actually think the best in the game is Raiden right now. I think everyone is sleeping on this character, and he's really good.
You have been playing a lot of Raiden.
I have, and I'm not even doing optimal shit. Like, I'm not doing the 50% corner combos. I'm trying to do the 45% one bar bread and butter, but I still don't really have the dash cancel down. I also think Jax is very, very strong in this game. Jax, people are sleeping on him, but I think that character is really good. But I don't know where I'd place him. And I could be wrong about Raiden. We don't know anything yet, but I think Raiden is incredibly strong right now. What's up, Shadowloo?
Didn't it take a while for people to figure out that Jax was filthy in a corner?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jax, he was a good character, and then because no one knew it, they buffed him. Same shit happened to Sonya with much more drastic results. People were like, oh, Sonya's trash. She's like easily number 3 in the game now for MK9. And she was probably almost that good before the patch, so...
Yeah, and that's why I don't think Sonya was ever bad. Just nobody played her because she's fucking Sonya. They don't understand the lack of popularity.
Well, that's what people are learning with the Special Forces, dude. People are learning that the fucking Special Forces maybe aren't that popular. I was watching Angry Joe's review, and even he kind of very implicitly put the Special Forces on blast. He's like, who wanted a game about the Special Forces, So,
NRS.
It shocks me that they have to learn this because it's been common knowledge to me since Mortal Kombat 2. I'm talking 1993.
I don't think that really started wearing out their welcome until like MK4. I tolerated them in Deadly Alliance. I've never really hated them or anything. It's just that there are just so many more interesting clans and factions.
Yeah, I liked them in Deadly Alliance because simply Cyrax was a member.
That did give them a little bit of something.
I think Kenshi does well with Special Forces.
It's not the Special Forces problem isn't that they're the army. It's that they have Sonya and Jax in it.
Burn.
And I like Jax, but he is a boring fucking character. I just like him because he does wrestling moves. I don't really... I'm not particularly attached to his personality or nothing.
I think MKX gave Jax a little something. I'm happier with him now than I was before.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the cigar smoking and he literally says, I'm too old for this shit.
Hey, he's grizzled, he's old man Jax, he'd rather be sitting at home farming. There's something to his character now, and that's one of my favorite parts about story mode. Giving Jax shit to do.
Well, it's actually not even his Jax variations that make him good. It's his artillery variation. Because what you can do is you can do the bazooka and dash out of it, which is like, all right, fine, what's new? It's fake out zoning. But you can actually cancel into that animation during a combo, dash out of it, and continue your combo for more damage, which is really good. I was watching Tyrant doing that for the Yomi tournament, so that looks really strong to me. And his normals in a game that's based on Rushdown, his normals are fucking fantastic. So Jax is looking really strong. I don't know. Like, I would say after Evo, let's balance the game a little bit. I mean, don't do what we did with MK9. That was crazy, but little reasonable, like maybe reducing damage on some characters. That's not going to change any matchups. Maybe reducing... Well, no, let me rephrase that. It may change matchups, but you're not going to have to relearn the matchup. You're not going to have to change your setups or anything. Maybe... I mean, God, if Shinnok had a little more fucking damage, I might actually use him. I don't know. Let's flip that coin, see what fucking happens, but...
Maybe, do a little something about Ermac's aerial variation?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit less free meter for every blast?
Yeah.
Maybe just a meter less. Just one block of fucking meter less.
It's funny. Despite this obvious fucking exploit, I actually haven't encountered any Ermacs online.
Because he's hard to use, dude. Fucking Ermac is not brain dead anymore. He's a difficult character.
They make you work for him. And I appreciate that, because, good God, Christ almighty, do I ever hate fucking fighting Ermac.
I feel like all the characters. Oh, yeah, good.
I just hate fighting AI Ermac, because it keeps doing the teleport, or the telekinesis that hangs you upside down twice in a row.
Well, that's what's annoying about the AI. It reads your inputs, so it fucking can react to anything. But huge shout outs to Praetor. I was playing him, I think, at first to a billion last night, so we had some good matches. His Ermac is turning into something really dangerous. And even his fucking Devora. His Devora is also really good in this game, by the way, but his Devora fucked my reptile pretty badly, so we're going to see how that matchup turns out.
Yeah, but Devora's good in like a fair way. Like, I feel like if I'm getting bodied by a Devora, they earned it. I feel like if I'm getting bodied by Takeda, he's just, he just keeps jumping and I can't get close. I
feel like Takeda will be this game's smoke.
And the
seemingly
thing is,
terrifying at first, but people will see through his shit in
the
time.
shape of a hitbox. His character does what it does.
And also, he controls the air so well. Like, his air game is really good and mix-up heavy. And, I mean, when he's in the air and he has meter, I know that he has an air attack that has fucking meter and has advantage on block. So, at least I think, I'm pretty sure that's an aerial attack. I actually haven't gone into the lab with Kung Jin yet, but I think that's the same attack if I'm remembering right.
I feel like the way you would talk about Reptile and MK9 is how I feel about Takeda. He has every tool at once, and it's like, why? Like, just
yes.
The whips would have been fine. Why did he also need, like, the longest range down 3 poke, and Scorpion's teleport, and those goddamn low kunai?
Wait, I think I got Kung Jin mixed up with Takeda. When I did that whole spiel about the air mix-up, was that we were talking about Kung Jin or Takeda?
Well, I was talking about Takeda.
Okay, well, I'll start talking about Takeda too then. It depends. Like, his fucking, like, air spear, I feel like that's pretty punishable. I'm not worried about that. But the neutral jump punch has such a big ass hitbox that even if it's kind of like, why not just do it? Just I've seen fucking Justin
like
wake
that
up
one move
neutral
would have
jump
been
punch.
the whole
like,
character. He doesn't need all the other things he has.
Yeah, he does have decent zoning as well. And with meter, I think his mix-ups aren't bad either. Again, I'd have checked that. Takeda seems solid at mid-range. I think he's going to be pretty strong. I mean, people are saying he's going to be trash when everything's said and done. I don't think so. I think he's really good right now. Will be decent
because I play Rushdown and fucking I can't get close because he's so solid at mid range.
He's very gimmicky, I think is a good word. You gotta learn his shit. It's like Injustice, everyone had these crazy high-low 50-50s, and if you guessed wrong, you got blown up. And if you didn't know what to do, and sometimes, like, the way fuzzy guards work, sometimes even if you got hit, you don't even know if it was high or low or not, So, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. He's dumb. I think he's probably going to be okay when everything's said and done.
I will say, in terms of not knowing whether I'm being hit high or low, that's all of those cone attacks Raiden has. Because I block and I get hit, and I'm like, where... How?
It's
drives
low.
Me crazy.
You block low. But what happens is it's got I think 10 consecutive hits upon the lightning blast, something like that. So you have to commit to blocking, and I think it's still safe because of the pushback. So Raiden's really good. I'm not gonna. He's not like fucking. I don't think he's like Kung Jin, where I think Raiden's gonna be strong all the way through the life of the game, unless they nerf him. But, I mean, we said this in MK9, and Raiden ended up being, like, not even top 10. So, I mean, again, this could all be wrong. We don't know yet, but I'm worried about the characters people are saying are bad, because I think, like, Shinnok being bad, that's kind of a given. But what about fucking Kenshi? The Kenshi players are fucking jumping ship right now. Like, that makes me worried. That bothers me. I hate to see that, but...
I can't say I'm actually surprised after his MK9 presence.
Well, the name is
actually
variation
bone dumb?
balanced. We should have known.
Yeah. Balanced. That's a keyword for you.
I didn't get the joke till now, but it's funny. I don't know. We'll see.
Not to the Kenshi players, it's not. But I guess they're going to have to learn how to deal. I don't know, he still seems okay to me. I wouldn't say he sucks or anything, but I barely had any time with him, so...
He's very meter heavy, and... when he zones, he just doesn't get much of a payoff for it, so characters with vortexes and 50-50s kind of eat him alive. And he's okay if he has armor and he guesses right, but he's working really hard right now. We may find something that's really broken later, but right now he's working overtime. But he's not useless. Like he's viable. Everyone's viable right now. Even I hate to say it, but even Shinnok is viable.
Is he your current candidate for shit character? Worst one of the game so far is Shinnok?
See, I've only played like 12 or 13 characters.
In my limited experience, I would say the worst character is any Kotal variation that's not Blood God.
Yikes.
Well, I was watching Northwest Majors, and I was like, this character doesn't look so bad, I guess. Then he did heal. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's not just a little bit of life. I'm like, holy, that's dumb. That's fucking stupid. But as in terms of his tools, Blood God is by far the strongest, I think. But that
it's the paddle. This is...
We knew this.
Ironically, the paddle is the best thing about him, and when you're without it, you're kind of fucked.
And people were also shitting on Katana. Apparently, Katana's extremely low tier as well. I don't know if I believe that.
I've run into a lot of people playing Assassin, but they just keep spamming the dash attacks, and once you start blocking, they get blown up real easy.
Yeah, especially with Liu Kang, who was fast as hell attacks, so... But we did find a corner infinite with a Mournful, although I don't think it's a true corner infinite. It looks like a loop to me. Because they only got 50% in the combo video. They didn't actually demonstrate an infinite from what I could see. So I don't know if you kind of deteriorate out of the combo, but that's something. People were saying that was the worst fucking variation she had. I think it's okay. I don't think it's trash. It's not like anything Jade had in MK9. I think everyone has scary stuff. It's just the top characters right now are just so dumb right now,
Yeah.
And the biggest one, not the biggest, but the first one everyone started crying about after Kung Jin was Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
Really? Grandmaster?
Yeah, people are... Because what happens is when he does a corner combo, he can basically do the clone, and when you're forced to block, he can throw you, and during the block animation, he pulls you into the clone so you refreeze for a reset.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. He yanks you into the clone. I love that.
Pretty ridiculous. It's like I said, it's hilarious. It's like the Ermac meter thing. I can't even be mad. But is it broken? Again, it goes into the dumb category. I don't know if it's broken, but it's pretty stupid. But, well, again, I don't want to nerf anything, especially when...
I don't know. I'm okay with it. I feel like Sub-Zero is... not out of control in other areas. So it's like one exploit is fine. The characters that bother me are the ones who do way too much damage with too simple a combo, like Kung Jin, or someone like Takeda who has too many tools.
Yeah,
Reptile, too many tools. I'm tempted to say Raiden has too many tools.
The ones Raiden has
Maybe that's
really
just the way
good.
you play him.
Well, he multi-hits, so what Raiden can also do is if you do a wake-up attack, which is supposed to have armor, because his lightning on Oki does so many hits, he actually knocks you out of armor during startup, so you can't even do your wake-up game against him anymore, even if you do have meter. It's
well, wake-up game in this game in general is kind of garbage. Nobody has any wake-up.
Stay down.
Stay down.
Every chance I get. What are you thinking about Melina? Because I'm very much liking my Melina.
I think Melina... I haven't tried piercing, but in terms of like her normals and her footsies, I don't think Melina's very good in this game. I could be wrong, but when she gets in, I just don't know. I mean, if someone has memorized my chain combos, I don't really know what to do. She feels really unsafe. I don't want to press anything, I think at the max YOLO, she might be good, but you gotta take huge risk with that character, which is it's the exact opposite of how I want to play. I want to do safe rushdown. I don't want to fucking guess.
She's predictable. She's absolutely easily predictable, and I don't think I even remember like how many overheads she has. It's not that many. Off the top of my head, I can remember the forward 3-4-3 or 4-4 one, and oh god, the startup time on that thing is so evil. So you get into these matches and people will just start duck blocking. It's like, yep, they know this shit. They know.
Yeah, I was testing out the forward 3. The forward 3 is a 33 frame startup move versus my 6 frame down jab.
I like to do that when like people are getting up, and I know for a fact they can't deal with overheads. If I'm playing someone who in any way, shape, or form knows Melina at all, I'm not gonna want to use that. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost worth it just to do EX roll, because that's a much faster overhead. So.
True that.
And it's got the combo potential. It's risky, but that's just Melina. Melina's always going to be a risky character. So I'm going to get back to her once I get comfortable with some of my new characters. But right now, I don't know. It's the engine, not her. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. Just this game rewards Rushdown so much, and
True, that does.
I don't know how she's going to keep people out. I don't know how she's going to open people up. But I don't know anything. I just bought this game, so we'll see. But I hope she's good. I hope she's really good. I think people are also... I get why people are complaining about Katana. Her chains are very unsafe. A lot of them don't have very good range. And yeah, I get it. I see why that's frustrating, but I was watching Trey Pound play, and he was doing some cool shit. His fucking air flap into neutral jump punch, that's a cool little setup right there. Is it a gimmick? Is it going to last? I don't know, but it's cool. It looks effective. No one's really doing anything about it right now, so we'll see. And that's pretty much all I have for gameplay that I can think of. The only character I think we've left out who looks really strong is Cassie. Cassie looks very good in this game.
I've been playing a little Cassie when I get like bored of Liu Kang. I'm getting somewhere.
How about Johnny? How's Johnny going?
I haven't been practicing with him. I don't really know enough to form an opinion. I really want to try that fisticuffs thing where he just keeps punching over and over and over again.
I haven't tried that one. I've only tried A-list. But I like Johnny a lot.
The fisticuffs one is fun, but if I'm remembering right, it does not do very much in the way of damage, and it's just like tick 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 tick. And I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, knowing how this game reacts to inputs, and it also backs Johnny up a little bit with each and every punch too, just a tad. So I feel like if you just like start spamming that, you don't like pay very, very close attention to your inputs, you're gonna leave yourself open with a couple of swings as possible. I think he's got better tools, but don't quote me on that because I haven't touched much of Johnny. It's apart from just beating arcade mode with him.
I don't know. It's a shame because none of his combos really translate online. After I do a fucking what was it? The forward 2-4. I had to do a down 1 so I can cancel into forward 3 nut punch. I can't get the down 1 online. I basically have no bread and butter with Johnny Cage online, so that kind of scared me away from the character. But yeah, he's fun. I guess. Does anyone else have anything else on gameplay? That's pretty much all I had to cover. For now, I mean, I'm forgetting some stuff I know, and I'm watching a lot more footage, but we'll have some more crazy stuff as the weeks go by.
What do you think of Goro?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, because I wonder how many people are sleeping on Goro because they feel like he's unfair because he's a boss character or something.
Because he feels really fair to me.
Yeah.
He's fair. I have no problem with him. I just think he's really boring. I just don't care. I mean, I'm going to learn him because I said I would, but I could not be more bored with that character.
That's sad. I feel I don't know, just as a character historian, just seeing him have all these tools at his command and things I've always wanted to use in fair fights, it's nice. That's all. He's nothing special, nothing awe-inspiring, and probably the overhype of all the marketing leading to him is more than a little bit responsible for that, but I still enjoy him for what it's worth.
When I see more tournament players and I watch what they're doing, maybe I'll get inspired, but right now it's just punch walk this, stomp that, whatever.
That's fair, but I don't know, I enjoy punch walking.
My favorite part about Goro, the only time I'm really having fun with Goro is when I'm doing that EX giant green fireball. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's sick. It's fucking trash, but it's sick looking. That's the only time I'm having fun with Goro.
I like using his EX chest thump in combos. There's something really rewarding about like knocking a guy up with an uppercut, then a straight kick into that. It's a lot of fun, and just seeing the hit counter go up and up and up and up. It's almost like you're playing Takeda. Almost like Takeda, but not quite.
I'll try that. Maybe that's what it's going to take, is something fun, something that feels really chain combo-y, because...
Oh, he's got it. It's something like... I think it was in Tiger Fury variation that I did this. It's something like jump and punch, and then 1 up 2, which is an uppercut, and back 2 for a second, and he's got forward and 3 for a thrust kick, I think, or forward and 4, one of those two, and you can go from those right into the EX chest thump. Nice, something like 33 or 34% damage from it, right? Maybe a bit more.
That sounds cool, but you may have to write that down for me.
Yes.
I don't know if I can commit that to my memory, but that does sound...
I'm sure I've seen it. I'll send you a link afterwards. Nice and
sweet.
That's about gameplay, I guess.
Endings?
Actually, before I forget, been chatting with a pretty cool dude in Wilson family, shoutouts, and he had a question for us about our opinion on something. What are we thinking of all these multiple ways to unlock costumes, ranging from the butt easy to Johnny's A-list? How do we feel about those? I think it's a pretty good question.
I think it's a very good question because people who reviewed the game before the release date said that the people earned coins quicker, and then they fucking nerfed coin gain when the game came out for microtransactions. I mean, it didn't say on disc for microtransactions, but we all know that's why they fucking did it. So,
No, hold on. Wasn't that, didn't that turn out to be, like, something misunderstood? Like, people were going based on, the difference in cost between the PC version and the home version or something, and then... Like,
well,
I don't know the full story, but I heard that was, like, not what people thought it was.
My source is the Angry Joe review. He said that on his pre-release copy, he was earning more coins before the first update came out. So that's where I got that from. But either way, I don't really like earning costumes because the crypt is just too tedious for me. And I mean, I finally got Khan and Melina, but you have to win like 20 matches in Endless Battle, and you have to lose a match for it to work.
Yeah.
So it's so arbitrary. How the fuck was I supposed to guess that?
Some of those things, man. Some of those things. Like I think the one that, as we all know, people are like trying to spam very hard right now is A-list Johnny, because it's something like 10 wins in King of the Hill Survivor.
I mean a hot shot Johnny.
Hot shot Johnny.
A-list is his variation.
That's
hot shot's the costume.
Right. Didn't you have a costume called A-list, or am I just delusional?
No, it's just regular tournament and hotshot. A-list is the variation.
Fair enough. I eat things I find. I probably drink things I shouldn't. It's a day in the life. But yeah, 10 wins in King of the Hill Survivor. I haven't been in that mode yet myself, but as I understand it, your health just carries over straight between fights.
Me and Razor tried it out. I never got the costume.
It doesn't carry over directly. You heal a little bit.
Okay.
The main difference is that it's only one round each fight, instead of 2.
Alright. Not terrible, I guess, but still. Odds pretty much I've got to really be in your favor to get that thing.
Yeah, it's the only one I don't have yet.
Well, if they were going to make a costume so hard to get, they picked the least enticing costume in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
That costume
I
just
don't
feels
even want it. I
redundant to
just
me.
want it for completion purposes.
Same here. It's that itch you have to scratch. I'm gonna be a Johnny player. I already know that, but it's gonna be a hole if I don't get it. And
if I play Johnny, I'm gonna play the MK9 costume every time.
Me too, with the red alternate. But to be honest with you, that costume, I'm starting to notice problems with it. Like,
it bugs me. It really does. He just looks oddly proportioned.
Yeah, he looks less in shape. Like he almost has love handles. I'm like, what? He's so fucking shiny. He's shiny as fuck.
His legs are a little short. Is what I noticed.
That's it. It's like his model is basically designed around his large, bulky main costume. So
yeah,
took that away from him.
His torso was built according to the fact that he's wearing a super baggy hoodie jacket.
Yeah.
Like the sleeveless hoodie thing. So, like obviously the hoodie goes past his waist. It's, really big, but, like, for some reason his torso in the alt is the same size as that fucking hoodie.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really add up.
If you're in really good shape, like you're at 8% body fat and you have like high muscle mass, you're supposed to be broad around the shoulders because you built up your pecs and deltoids, and you're supposed to thin out around the abdomen. That's not what he fucking looks like to me. He looks like a fucking tree trunk. I'm like, what the fuck? Also, can we wipe him down? He is so fucking shiny. Is that necessary?
He's sweaty through so much of story mode.
That's just because everybody gets wet in the engine.
I can see my reflection in fucking Johnny Cage.
Actually, you know what, though? He's from Hollywood. He films movies all the time. I bet you anything between cutscenes and before fights, he spritzes himself with a water bottle to give himself a dramatically sweaty appearance.
Water bottle, Vaseline, one of those two.
Oh dear. I don't know why Johnny Cage is walking around with Vaseline in his coat, but anyhow.
I'm sure he has reasons. Yeah, that's all I got.
Do we even want to? I mean, can we talk about the endings when you haven't seen all of them?
All right, we can start.
My proposal is that we divvy it up. Just try to avoid, and I'm sorry for that, the more interesting ones according to you two until maybe next time.
We'll start with
But I
first.
still got
You
most of them.
decided to see all the boring characters.
Hey, nuts to you, man. I took the guys I liked the most first, and I'll have you know that, Razor, you should appreciate this as a plot aficionado. I didn't want to go through through arcade mode without even so much as having Liu Kang, Kitana, and Kung Lao's NetherRealm outfits. It seemed wrong to me. I play canonically to the bone.
Well, you say that, but their endings aren't going to be canon. It's arcade mode.
I just want to play as my goddamn Revenants. They look cool.
They do. That's fair.
Why you gonna trip on me, bro? Why you tripping?
Because you haven't seen the endings I want to talk about yet.
I'm sorry, but this... Okay, this how many characters in this game? Like, what, 24, 25? I'm missing 6. 7. I'm missing 7. I got most of them down. We can fill the rest of the time with that.
All right, well, since there's no Revenant Ferritor, we can start with her, because I think hers is really interesting. We learn a lot about this
is worth talking about.
I think it is. It's by far my favorite and most heartbreaking one. And I really, really hope that this is not what happens. So, yeah. Upon her ending, she kind of, apparently, as we know, she comes of age. And
she goes through puberty, which involves turning into a Tor herself.
Over the course of 3 years, while Tor withers and dies in the wastelands, she gets gigantic and she comes, I guess she makes her way back to her village, and there she's paired with a younger symbiote rider. Talk about depressing shit. Because seriously, that implies she's gonna lose all the quirky intelligence and witty comments that she has. It's sad. It's really sad to see that.
Ending is just to explain how their species works, so we know for lore's sake, and it's never actually going to happen in canon.
Well,
I'm sure MK11 will be 2 years later, and she's not old enough to go through that puberty yet.
That's fair. Maybe they can set it up so that she's actually one of the exceptions to her race, and she actually wants to stave it off.
Like a
possible.
Pokemon?
She doesn't want to evolve like how Pikachu wouldn't let him use the stone on him.
Yeah, you just get the Everstone, just let it sit on her.
I never watched an episode of Pokemon. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Shelter.
Gotta catch them all, Shadowloo.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm sorry, man. Pokemon was the first cartoon where I was like, I'm too old for this shit. That was it. That was my cutoff point. Then I had to do real important things like hang out in front of high schools and smoking cigarettes and drugs and
Yeah, you lost.
sex.
That one would have gone great with Pokemon. It's... I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't see it either, but it's the first cartoon I didn't watch because
I'm pretty sure it was on right before Batman the Animated Series or something.
I
I
didn't watch that either.
No,
it
was
there while I was waiting for my show.
Batman Animated was 91 or something. I don't think Pokemon
Well,
was
I mean,
95 or
it
90.
was
Or maybe
4
96?
seasons, plus it, melded into Superman.
I'm just saying, animated series came a little bit before Pokemon.
And then there was Batman Beyond.
That was way later. That was 2001 or 1999, I think.
Yeah, but I didn't stop watching cartoons that whole time, is my point.
See, I saw Batman animated when I was 28 for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And I really enjoyed it. I had a blast.
Yeah, it's a good show. It holds up.
I'm a fan. But Ferritor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two ways they could go about this. They could either have the next game take place 2 years later, which is plausible. I don't see why that couldn't happen. The other option is they can make her evolve and fucking, I don't know, the next character is going to be Farah Jarek. Something crazy, but we're going to get a new character introduced within the character.
Farah Jarek. I like how you went right there. You picked the most pathetic guy you could think of to be a silly little writer character.
Well, I kept thinking like Farrah Kai, because that actually kind of fits. I can see a little dude be named Kai, but I'm like, that there's also a real Kai, so let's just go with Jarek. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to see that. Like, I don't know if I want to see Farrah anything in the next game. Other than the intro dialogues, I wasn't really sold on this character.
I was. I found her adorable, cute as a button, hilarious. The dialogue she has is enough for me. And I like the approach. And I want to learn how to use them gameplay-wise, but they're just a bit out of my normal comfort zone. I'm sure I'll try eventually, but for now they're just weirding me out. But I just enjoy them so much. I want this to be a concept that sticks around. And I would like to see Farrah be the exception to the norm and try to find a way, if possible, through some sorcerers or warlocks out there to maybe slow their aging process or stop it entirely. That'd be a nice angle for them to take, I think.
Have you seen Johnny's ending?
Yes, I have.
There you go.
Johnny's ending is a giant continuity error like Kung Lao's was in 9, though.
Say more.
Okay, so Johnny's ending is that because he's getting old, he decides to find, like, something that will slow or stop his aging, and he finds a book on Shang Tsung's island that gives away the secrets of Edenian long life. Rain's bio in Armageddon establishes that the reason Edenians are long-lived is because their ancestors are part god. You can't learn that from a book.
Well, I mean, I see what you're saying, but couldn't you make the argument that Johnny Cage might be descended from the gods because of the cult he was part of, or descended from?
Yeah, but you still can't learn that from a book.
No, you can learn about it from a book.
I could actually totally see Shang Tsung having a spell to replicate.
Like, I'm okay with Shang having a book that explains how to slow aging down, except that why didn't he ever use it on himself? Unless it teaches soul stealing is what's in the book.
Maybe the book just says you gotta go to the flesh pits and cut up Edenians. I mean, maybe that's the secret, you know?
I always figured that, like, Shang Tsung could... I always figured that the likes of Tsung could control or slow aging however they saw fit. Just that Shao Kahn's curse on him was some seriously heavy shit, and even he couldn't get around that. Levels of magic, yo.
Well, the continuity of his whole aging curse isn't even entirely clear, because Shao Kahn is the one who taught him how to steal souls. So, is the rapid aging part of the soul-stealing knowledge? Or is it a punishment Shao Kahn put on him later? Or is it a punishment the EarthRealm gods put on him for corrupting the Mortal Kombat tournament? They never really explain it.
I always actually took it to be Khan himself at some point. Although that's probably in large part because I'm conflating memories of that wonderful Jeff Roven MK novel where after fucking up and losing to Kung Lao a couple of times and then whatnot, Shao Kahn's actually like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna kill you unless you do this. Clock's ticking. And hits him with a curse.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is, like, the only game that actually mentions the aging curse is the first one, before Shao Kahn has been introduced. So it just refers to,
cursed by his gods.
Whoever put the curse on Shang as his gods.
That's pretty much why I figured it was always, like, Khan himself. That's another reason for it, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's sort of, because it was all a reference to David Lo Pan in Big Trouble in Little China, and the evil god he worshipped and who was trying to please, so, I mean, that's kind of what Shao Kahn is to Shang. So it could have been Khan, but it also, like I always interpret it could have been the Earthrealm gods punishing him because he's, you know, his whole backstory is he's from Earth and he betrayed them to Outworld.
Do we feel like the ending's a missed opportunity? Do we think they could have done something better? Because that's the feeling I get. Like, I'm kind of whatever on the ending in general. Doesn't really tie into
Johnny's
anything.
is weak.
Probably. Johnny and Sub-Zero, there are some characters that you know are coming back later on in future games. Characters that come back in future games tend to get bullshit endings because they don't know what they're going to go and do with that
just
character.
Filler.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's unfortunately kind of really... It's easy to recognize usually what is and what isn't.
I mean, if you want a filler ending for Sub-Zero, just say, you know, if he's going into Outworld, don't have him discover ice dragons. Have him discover the cryomancer armor.
Yeah, I mean, the ending is so funny, though, it's hard to hate it, because, like, I don't know, even the ending when it shows a picture of Sub-Zero holding an egg, he's got this dumb facial expression like, hey guys, eggs. You know, so I'm like, what? I can't be mad at this.
He
It's
is-
so
he is
fucking left field
painted
and ridiculous.
very goofy looking.
I feel like that whole thing should be a series of heavy metal album covers.
Yeah, no, that has a fucking Rhapsody of Fire written all fucking over it. Fucking.
So, yeah.
It's this weird. I don't know why Sub-Zero was the character chosen for a combination reference to Game of Thrones and a DreamWorks movie.
See, I was thinking of like Mortal Kombat mythology as Panzer Dragoon kind of meshed into goodness, but it's a waste. I'm not gonna argue it's not a complete and utter waste. When you have a game where fucking Scorpion and Sub-Zero bury the hatchet, and this is the ending you come up with, what the fuck?
It's just sort of.
It's an Armageddon ending territory.
Well, when you put it like that, it makes me even madder because it's like Sub-Zero already is not doing anything important in story mode, and now his ending is crap too.
I do like that chapter a lot because it does establish the kind of relationship Sub-Zero has with the outside characters. I think that's really interesting, but I hate the fact that it ended. That didn't even need to be his chapter. That could have been like fucking Kung Jin's chapter. Oh no, that could have been fucking Jackie's chapter.
It could have been all
chapter was just the
cutscene.
forest fight. Yeah, no, exactly. So I'm glad it was in the game, but I agree it should not have been
But
his
here's
chapter.
what I like. All they had to do to give Sub-Zero a decent chapter is have him flash back to when he fought Sector and Cyrax to take over the clan. Done.
That was actually.
You don't
I
have
think
to
nice
rewrite any
script.
of the plot to give him more to do in the present. Just when I play as him, I want to be doing something that fucking matters.
They were going to
He's
do that. I'm
Sub-Zero.
almost positive. I know they were going to do that because if you look at the intro dialogues, and I've seen all of them now, I spent like 4 hours watching all the intro dialogues. There was clearly more to this story that didn't make it into the game. Like, they
Speaking of,
hint and imply a lot of shit.
Sub-Zero and intro dialogues. Revenant Kung Lao has one that references noob.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Right on.
if you fight Revenant Kung Lao versus Sub-Zero, he says something like, when's the last time you saw your brother, or something like that, and Sub-Zero goes, Noob Saibot's whereabouts are unknown. And then Kung Lao responds, he's waiting for you on the other side.
Huh. Well, that son of a
Oh.
bitch YouTube channel, I haven't seen all the dialogues. Fucking. Well, I mean.
Yeah, I
guess that's-
most of the Revenant ones, like the special ones, the special costume ones, I mean, aren't on YouTube yet, I don't think, because so few people have unlocked them all.
That's really good news for noob fans, I find. Because
Yeah, he
I'm-
can
I'm-
come back from being
Yeah.
ripped apart by the Soulnado.
I'm typically one of those, if there's no body, then there's no death kind of guys. But ripped apart by the Soulnado was kind of really. I felt that the door to permanent death was kind of really open there. But when you actually have someone say we don't know what happened to them, that means that they're alive somewhere. Looking forward to
Yeah.
having Noob back. Rejoice.
What- The part that pleases me is he doesn't say Bihan's whereabouts are unknown. He says Noob Saibot. Because when Bihan comes back, I want him to be Noob. I don't want him to be Sub-Zero again, back to life, or a new character with a new name. I just want Noob Saibot.
Well, I think that we can safely put all of that behind us.
I
MK10
hope
pretty much it pretty much covered and convinced me that they know that the reaction to Cyber Sub was not a good one. That to
Well,
the
thing
to the
of it is,
majority of the
even-
fan base,
even if you
Sub is
cement
Kuai
Kuai Liang as Sub-Zero forever and you understand that's the way it's supposed to be, because that's what the people want, there's still always the option of doing something new and different with Bihan, because I always get the feeling that they don't really like the Noob Saibot concept as much, or that they have some problem with the name. I mean, there's always been this rumor that since Tobias isn't in the company anymore, they want to get rid of the Saibot half of the name, and I've never put a whole lot of stock into it, but I mean, there could be something there.
If they were gonna, they would have done it by now. It's been like what, 15 years in Special Forces. The name's not going anywhere. They know it.
I hope.
It's not like it's not like Tobias can sue them for copyright or anything.
Yeah, no, you can't. Saibot is a Mortal Kombat trademark.
Yeah.
A guy's name backwards. You don't own your name backwards.
More to the point, Ed and John are still on good terms. We know that. They have lunches together and shit. There's no bad blood. It's just that Tobias isn't with him anymore.
That might be more reason to do it. They could be having lunch and, Tobias might be like, so have you thought about taking my name out of the game? Could you think about it? Could you sleep on that for me? No? Okay. So I don't know. Maybe he resents it, and and Ed Boon is just like, I don't know. The people want it, He's like, all right, fine.
Oh, I can't see it, man. If I had been part of creating something that was famous for years and years, far beyond my wildest dreams, I'd like that one last little nod to myself that remains in every game, no matter what. I'd be proud. I can't say for sure because I'm not Tobias, but
for me, it's just that Noob Saibot is the only form of Bihan I really like.
I can go either way.
I don't want him back unless he's going to be all black and have shadow powers and be a completely evil son of a bitch from hell.
That's fair.
That's what I want.
If anything, that's what I'm saying. MK10 probably went a long way towards validating that. I think that if it hasn't happened at this point, it probably won't. I don't think you have much to worry about. We'll see what happens. Next.
That's 3 endings. What have you seen? Well, let's talk about Aaron Black. I know you've seen that one, Shadaloo, and that one was a big disappointment.
Have you seen the whole chain, Aaron, Sonya, and Jax's?
I have. That, we're kind of getting into Jax, Sonya, Jarek, MK4 territory here, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a
definite parallel going on.
I just feel like... Yeah, go on.
All right. I enjoy it for the fact that it explained, convincingly to me at least, why we have a current cowboy running the fuck around in current times. And he
literally is from the Old West, so that satisfied like my earliest complaints. Like, why is this guy using Outworlds? It's 150 years old.
He is a cowboy. Shang Tsung is responsible for that. Works for money. Shoots bitches. Rolling straight out of Compton. Wild Wild West. Wiki, etc. Long story short, he didn't do.
Well, now I'm disappointed his ending doesn't have a giant mechanical spider.
Look, man, I'm sure if we get in contact with that director, whatever the fuck his name is, he'll be happy to fix that for you.
That was the final stage of the Cyber Initiative, was the giant fucking spider. That was going to be the Grandmaster.
You know what, though? I could actually see something like that being an Outworld somewhere. Like, I don't know, some sort of roving, moving barter town. Who knows?
You know why you and me get Aaron Black? Because you and me, we're from the streets.
Nah, but for real. Yeah, he didn't do much, and he is at goon level. But I don't mind. In terms of goons, I guess at this point I'm resigned to every game having a couple. And that's okay, as long as they're interesting. And for me, the goons in this game are pretty goddamn interesting. Both Aaron and Ferritor. You can't expect everyone to be a major interweaving part of the plot like the old days anymore, with story mode being what it is. The bad guys are always going to get the shaft, and some of them are always going to be there to get beaten up on, but he's got a background to him and a bit of a backstory, and that's about all I can really ask for, I suppose. I could ask for more. I'm probably not going to get it, so I'm not going to overhype myself. But just to see that he has an explanation for being a cowboy in current times, one that makes perfect sense, simple and to the point, no, I was happy.
I don't think they intended that, though. I really do think they meant this character to have a bigger role. I don't think it's any accident that this story mode is substantially shorter than MK9's. I think it was supposed to be longer, and if you watch the dialogue with Aaron, it really, really looks like there was supposed to be a treachery storyline that was going to go down. And they just ran out of time and didn't make it past the cutting board. That's what I think happened. Because it doesn't make sense to introduce...
I don't know. I just feel like... I think the references to treachery or betrayal in the intros are just explanations for why Aaron would fight Kotal in a non-canon arcade mode fight.
That's pretty much the way I see it, too.
Maybe. I mean... I'd have to rewatch the dialogues, but they hinted at certain events. It felt like there was something bigger going on. It's very unique to Aaron Black, is what I'm saying. Because I know what you mean in regards to other characters.
There is definitely spaces where you can tell things were cut from the game, and I feel like maybe seeing Sub-Zero take over the Lin Kuei is one of those things. And we know for a fact there are scenes like Fujin was supposed to show up with Jax in the NetherRealm that got cut. Kai was at one point considered for Raiden's chapter instead of Bo Raicho. There's a bunch of things like that, but I don't think anything with Kotal's crew was cut, that at least I can tell. I think they're just... it's a shame because of all the new characters, they're the most interesting, but they get the least screen time. It's all about boring ass Cassie's team.
I mean, I can't argue with any of that because all this is theory, but I don't know. It's hard for me to believe they put so much stock in this character and then do nothing with him. That's kind of the part that shocks me the most. With Ferritor, I get it because it's kind of a thin concept. You know, maybe like the nature of the character is very interesting, but there's not really much of there's no room for any complicated motive. Kind of like what we always said about Melina. So I don't know.
They all have interesting and unique designs and personalities and backstories, and then you look at the 4 Special Forces kids, and it's like they're all the same. Even in personality, they're all jokey. Like, I've compared them to the Ninja Turtles, but honestly, the Ninja Turtles are more different from each other. Like, Leonardo very rarely jokes, but, I mean, even if both Cassie and Jackie, either one of those could fit the Leonardo mold in the team.
I don't know, man. Have you
Because,
seen that
Jackie's
new?
sort of the responsible one, whereas Cassie's the leader, and yet they both have all kinds of jokes and catchphrases while they fight. And
I just want to put this out there, man. You got to watch that new Ninja Turtle show if you haven't. It was a bit jokier than he used to be. Just a bit. Continue.
I just say, like,
Well, they did do it to an extent because Kung Jin, I feel like, does have a lot of differentiating characteristics, but the way the story is written, those never come into play outside of flashback. You don't see them.
Jin, like, snarks at people and, like, has, you know, like, he's a dick, but a lot of his humor is still just exactly the same way Cassie talks or the same way Jackie talks. And Takeda is, a little dorkier and is, like, his one-liners are cornier and not as clever. That's really the one thing that sets him apart, is that he's sort of, I don't know, he's almost like the guy who would say darn instead of damn. You know what I mean?
In a way, that's me. I can relate to that. I don't know why. I mean, I'm no stranger to cursing or swearing, but
I guess there's got to be one socially awkward one.
yeah, it would make sense if you were raised by a scorpion. You probably would be the socially awkward one in the group, but as opposed to Kung Jin, who was raised on the streets, you know, who'd be the most apt.
Yeah, Kung Jin is the most interesting of the 4 because he's the Wrath. And that puts him in opposition to the rest. They argue. And that, he has the most color to him. And, like, I'm reminded of, if you ever have seen John Tobias' notes for the very first game, how very clearly he outlined which archetype every character was. Liu Kang was the hero, Johnny Cage was the comedy relief, Sonya was, quote-unquote, the skeptic, as in the regular person from the modern world who is all like, what the hell is this supernatural stuff I've suddenly stumbled into? Raiden was the mentor. Those are very clearly defined roles, and even in just simple, like, 2 words, you can get what that person's personality should be if you were the writer.
What game were these notes for?
In MK1, way back in the 90s, he put them up on Twitter like all his old notebooks.
Okay, because if he had notes for Raiden as a mentor, what the hell happened?
You beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. Because why...
The way Raiden is in the movie is the way he always intended him to be, and the arcade ending was just a joke.
Fair enough. That's kind of a blow. Wow. For a joke, that certainly must have picked up a lot of weight along the years, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he expected people to latch onto it quite so hard as they did. I mean, it was never meant to be canon. Only Liu Kang's is canon in the first game.
Didn't expect the game to be as popular as it was, you know? So they probably didn't think long-term yet. I mean, Tobias did, but he's the artist. He's supposed to think long-term. I don't think anyone else did. I think everyone thought the game was going to be a one-hit and then done.
My point is, if you look at, like, the character creation process, if you were a writer, why would you create 4 characters as similar as Cassie, Jackie, Takeda, and Kung Jin are? I don't get the creative process behind that.
I feel like they probably wrote them as a group. That's probably the real reason why.
Yeah, I guess. I mean...
I don't know. Like, honestly, I have no investment in those characters. Like, I have no attachment, so done right, done wrong, it's hard for me to really put myself into the topic.
like I'm not attached to the characters, but I am attached to the
Good
writers
story
of the
writing.
series because I want them to, write something better. Because it's Mortal Kombat and I care about the franchise as a whole. And these are the guys whose it's in their hands. And
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying like
agree.
Tobias was always perfect at everything. Obviously, he's the guy who wrote MK4.
No,
But-
I see what you're saying. I guess it goes back to what MK9 did to my perspective on the story. I just never really
Yeah.
recovered from that.
Yeah, the
And
bar is still a lot lower than it should be just because of MK9.
I'm still ready to start loving again. I'm not as disappointed by MKX's story as a lot of people seem to be. I'm just, I suppose, grateful it didn't screw the pooch the way MK9
Wait, no,
did.
see, I like MKX's story overall. I'm just complaining about the characterization of the four mains.
That's fair. That's a valid complaint.
well, I mean, the plot as well. I didn't really like the plot structure. Like you said in the previous episode, not a lot was at stake, but I guess in a weird way, I guess I'm not ready to love again because it's like going through a divorce, you know? At first you're really down, you're like, oh, they fucked it up. Oh, it's over. When you can never return after this. Then you realize you're single again. You can go hang out with your friends. You can go to bars now. It just, there's a freedom to not giving a shit anymore, you know? Things don't bother me like they used to, you know? I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry at all.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when MK9, when the demo leak happened for MK9, in that moment I did compare it to feeling like my heart was broken or I was breaking up with someone. In retrospect, it's not that for me. It's more like I found out that my child became a drug addict.
In either
Because I
scenario,
can't let go. There's a cord I can't cut between myself and Mortal Kombat. It's not a girlfriend I can break up with. It's someone who it's family. Like I can't give up on them. I'm just
basically,
waiting for them to clean up and get into rehab.
in either scenario, it's like you guys open the door and like saw Melina lying there covered in ribbons, and you just realized, I don't know this person anymore.
Yeah,
are
it's true. In a weird way, I was the one who filed the papers, you know? We're sticking with a metaphor. I'm the one who walked out, so it's hard to even feel bad, but for me though, I'm still invested because the characters and the gameplay matter so much to me. The art design matters so much to me. But let's take an example of something that would have driven me into the ground 4 years ago, but now although I'm still really disappointed, but I don't lose any sleep over it. Ermac. This game ruined Ermac for me. Like, Ermac that I loved is dead. He's gone. He doesn't exist anymore. The Deception Ermac that
I don't know.
I hailed as
see
the greatest
shades
character
of
in the
the
series.
Deception Ermac in him. Like I think we had in terms of his characterization, I think we had a false impression before the game came out. Like we all thought he had Shao Kahn's soul inside him. Upon re-examining most of his intro quotes, I don't think that's the case. I think all of those are just him referring to himself as like the last legacy of Khan. And like
That's true.
People coming up to fight him would be all like, why are you still like this when your creator is gone? He's just going, my creator made me the way I am, like in his memory, or I fight in his name is what he really means when he says stuff like that.
That's not an improvement to me though, because Ermac
but
without
if
a
you
moral
actually look
code
at
or a
story
conscience. Yeah.
Story mode, the way he's characterized when he like switches to Koto's side, he does seem like he talks about freedom to choose like who he wants to serve, and that he fights for what's best for Outworld. And I think that's closer to the Ermac that Kenshi freed in Deadly Alliance and Deception. It's not.
I don't know if I
It's
agree
not
with
a
that.
pure
There's
good
actually-
guy. It's more neutral, but
There's a little bit of a nod, actually, if you've had any Ermac and Kenshi dialogue yet. Kenshi says something along the lines of, I'm just trying to help you, at some point, during one of their intros. It's a nice little nod to past continuity.
I saw that, and I liked that, but the fact is, Ermac did horrible things under Shao Kahn's rule, under Shao Kahn's control. And if he's not remorseful for that, that's not the character I want, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, one of the defining things about him in Deception was that he, was trying to make up for the evil he did under Khan, whereas in this one, he's gloating about blowing up Jax's arms.
That really
So
bothered me.
he's I
a
wouldn't
lot.
say he's a straight villain, but he's kind of a dick.
Yes.
Is how I'd put it, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's almost...
The thing that I find weird is nowhere in the game, even in his intro interactions with Kitana, is it ever mentioned that one of the souls in him is Gerard.
I think there's one dialogue that says there's one soul that's trying to gain control inside you. And then Ermac says some random bullshit. But I think there's one...
Yeah,
true
it's
brief
very,
reference.
very vague. I expected a little more from when him and Kitana fight each other.
That's the key phrase. I expected a little more from Ermac, you know? Just, oh god. It's not as bad as Cabal going from MK3 to Deception. That was the worst. But this is still pretty bad.
Deception Cabal is straight up character assassination.
I can at least understand and justify Ermac being a bit of a dick nowadays because, I don't know, perhaps you can look at it in the sense that in the old continuity, somehow, maybe the Gerard soul got a little bit more influence than it did this time for whatever reason. Timeline, amulet shenanigans, who fucking knows? Because at the end of the day, these are the souls of Outworld warriors. And you've got to believe that there are probably going to be a fair number of Tarkatans and genuinely very nasty people floating around inside there.
Well, they're all supposed to be rebels who opposed Shao Kahn, is what makes Ermac up.
I remember the trilogy battles going like he was like just people extinguished in Outworld wars. I don't remember it specifying its side.
I don't remember the exact wording, but I remember it being something along the lines of the strongest warriors who Shao Kahn ever killed, or something like that.
What game?
I'm thinking way back to like trilogy.
Don't think so. I'm thinking it was just like extinguished in Outworld wars in general. So I just always saw him as a hodgepodge mishmash of dead people, which is why the whole evil angle never really bothered me all that much, because I thought, hey, wow, they're going to go the old UMK3 brand of oppression angle. I can deal with that. Hang on, I'll go check it out.
But Shao Kahn took away his free will either way, so no matter who the souls are, why would they like Shao Kahn? Like, that's what I don't get. He was an oppressive asshole, and why would he serve Kotal? Kotal's... he's an oppressive asshole too. He's a dictator. He's not as bad as Shao Kahn, but he's still kind of an idiot. I don't know. But
okay, yeah, trilogy does sort of just generically call them the souls of extinguished Outworld warriors. I think Deception specifically names them as like rebels who
are we Googling?
I am. I know MK9 for a fact says they're mostly Edenian. We can continue on. This doesn't need to...
Yeah, we're just like getting continuity fan wanky here. I'm trying to Google myself and have the microphone muted while I'm clicking along. This is not fun for our listeners. Well,
they can Google along. But like I said, like either way, it's the same result. It all brings us to the same conclusion. Ermac is not the character I fell in love with, you know.
Yeah.
So
we all like
that
the
kind
guy
of
Ermac, and he's a big douchebag in this one.
So let's talk about all
to keep him a douchebag. Yeah, go on.
I was about to say, let's talk about all the good his ending did for him.
It did good for somebody.
Best ending. I'm sorry.
Didn't do good for my eyes. I could have gone a whole lifetime without seeing naked Shang Tsung, but
I'm sorry.
You don't see the wedding tackle. It's fine.
Are you not entertained? I'm entertained. I'm just
I
glad
didn't
he's
see
back.
that projected it.
Boy, is he supposed to just manifest clothes out of thin air?
Maybe.
That would be silly. No.
It's not realistic.
It sucks for Ermac, but I really like the fact that they wrote it in such a way that it's ambiguous. He doesn't have to eat all of Ermac, but he's out there. They can write Shang Tsung as totally him coming back now, because he's floating around out there as a speck of dust. And I look at that as being the only thing Shang had the ability to be after Shao Kahn was done feeding him to Sindel. Maybe possibly broke the tiniest part off of himself and implanted his essence into it. So he kind of pulled like an nth level, like 11:59 p.m. last minute jump, kind of the way that Quan Chi did in Deception when Raiden went kablooey. That's the way I see it. And I'm happy. I'm really happy, and I want this to be canon. So very badly.
I'm kind of either
well,
or. I
with
could
Quan
go either
Chi
way.
dead, you gotta have a sorcerer.
Absolutely. My man Shang.
And I totally
I
buy
don't
the
know.
idea that Shang's ghost is sort of floating in the ether of Outworld after the way Khan killed him.
It's the fact that he's a speck of dust that really gets me. That's like that. In order for that to work, Shang Tsung has to have morphing abilities, the likes of which we have no fucking idea. Or maybe he has to be really weak to pull it off. I don't know. But I always figured that he could kind of change his basic form, but like not like shapeshift in size like that.
I don't know. I didn't think of it as shapeshifting. I just assumed that like the dust was sort of floating on the wind of his spirit or whatever as it like invisibly moved through the air.
I was thinking in physical terms. But you
I
could
mean,
be wrong.
both fit. Because when he came back to life in Armageddon, I believe his bio said that his being bound to Shao Kahn as his oath is what kind
Yeah,
of...
the way it works is like he sold his soul to Khan when he signed up to become like Team Outworld. So if he dies, his soul doesn't go to heaven or hell; it goes straight to Khan. Well, Khan is currently dead, and Shang was dead at the time. So I don't know. I feel like it would be fair for his soul to just be free and wander Outworld. And
Possible. I'm getting kind
in
of like a
Armageddon,
kind of
Khan
a
brought him
Sauron
back
vibe.
after he died by taking that soul, and Shang just keeps a bunch of extra bodies stocked in the flesh pits. And that's what Meat is. He's an unfinished Shang clone.
Like I said, I could go either way. I have no commitment to either concept.
I see this kind of like a
I'm not in
Sauron
love
angle.
with Shang anymore.
Like they mention in Lord of the Rings that basically after Sauron's tower crumbles, Sauron being who he is, he can't really be killed, but he's just sort of left helplessly floating in a kind of a vague spirit form and can never really interact with anyone. That could be the scenario that we're looking at here, except that Ermac, being composed of souls or being a spiritual being, is very possibly one of the few people that can even detect Shang Tsung's presence.
Well, Sauron's interesting because Sauron's immortality was related directly to the rings. So when they took down Sauron, you're right, they couldn't really kill him. So his spirit just went to Mirkwood, and that's why Mirkwood got all fucked up. So yeah, Shang Tsung has the same element though. He has the one ring, which being Shao Kahn. So if Shao Kahn comes back to life, there's definitely hope for Shang Tsung. Because if that's what he's bound to, in theory, you couldn't really kill him.
I wouldn't even want Khan to come back. I'd rather have Shang.
I just think
completely
like
unbound
the
to Khan at all for the
circumstances
first
that
time in the
both
series.
characters died under, it would make sense for Shang's soul to be free now.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm tired of him being like forced lapdog to Khan because they've got this linked together and forcing him to be this toady. I want Shang Tsung working for himself for once. I've missed that.
Plus, I
I'm-
think that
yeah.
if you look at the way events are sort of repeating themselves in, I mean, not exactly the same way, but we did just have a game all about Shinnok after a game all about the trilogy. So the next one's got to have elements of Deadly Alliance and or Deception. And I mean, I'm not expecting Quan Chi to come back and team up with Shang at all, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Shang be the one to discover the Mummy Army or something like that.
I don't know. That's a mystery to me. Would they ever bring back Well, I thought they would never bring back Shinnok, but Onaga.
I think Onaga. And I mean, maybe my opinion of Onaga is different from other people's because I actually like the character. I don't think there's any reason not to bring back Onaga. I think he's one of their better villains.
I definitely agree with that. I don't know if
I
the
can see it.
masses agree with that, but then again, I don't think the masses agree with
the
Shinnok.
alternative is to come up with a new villain, and they're not really good at it.
Well,
I wouldn't
they're
mind
not
having
even
Onaga
trying.
back. Just Onaga on a 2D battlefield would be a hell of a lot more entertaining to fight than he was on 3D. Because I liked his moves. Definite.
And I mean, granted, the next game could just be returning characters, and like Dark Raiden or Hell King Liu Kang could be the bad guy. I mean, that's a viable theory, but I want to see Onaga back.
I think that's the least interesting route, but I think, yeah, I agree, it's very possible. And I do want to see Onaga back, but the thing is, I don't know, because I feel like the idea is to get away from that storyline. If they wanted to get back to it, I think we would have seen more characters
See, I
from
don't-
that timeline.
That sort of requires
I
Reptile
don't
to be in a
necessarily.
bad place again.
I think the idea that the motivation behind the reboot was to throw away the 3D era is like an urban legend. I don't know that that's really how Ed and NetherRealm feel about those games. I think that's how they feel about a lot of the characters who were in those games.
Okay, well, that's what I was
but not
going to say
about
next.
the plots. I think if you say they rebooted to get rid of Cobra and Kira and Dramin, yeah, I believe that. If they rebooted to get rid of Armageddon and Blaze, I believe that. If you tell me they rebooted to get rid of Deadly Alliance and Deception in general, that I do not believe.
Well, it's funny because there's I think it's a reference to Blaze, but if you watch all of Shinnok's dialogues with himself, Shinnok's
Yeah,
like,
there is one where he references the plot of Armageddon where Shinnok had sent a clone of himself to the pyramid so that he wouldn't die.
What's the dialogue?
It's just one Shinnok says to the other in the mirror match, "You didn't kill me at the pyramid," and he's like, "Well, I will this time," or something like that.
Reptile is a similar one. Reptile sees other Reptile and he's like, "Chameleon?" And then Reptile goes, "No, I am Shang Tsung." And fucking Reptile goes, "Reveal yourself, coward." I think that's awesome. Where the mirror matches are canonically all Shang Tsung. I think that's
some of them are Shang Tsung. Some of them are clones Shang made, like Kano. One of them is like, "Shang Tsung made you," and the other Kano goes, "Oh, he made a lot of us."
Yeah,
really
makes a similar one as well, I think.
Oh,
I love that one with Reptile, though. What's up,
Okay,
Shadow?
so he actually asks if it's Chameleon.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to assume that Reptile has the wherewithal to recognize a dude from a lady.
I'm pretty sure he means with a C.
But I don't...
That's
disconcerting.
That's actually kind of unprecedented, because that means that's actually kind of a confirmation, although we haven't had anything official before now, but that would actually cement Chameleon, the male, as also being part of the Raptor race.
I'd rather believe that Chameleon with a C. I'd rather believe that Reptile's just dumb and he was referring to Chameleon with a K, because I don't want Chameleon with a C
go
to be
either way, knowing Reptile. I mean, it's funny how many characters in the intros against Reptile call him dumb.
They call fucking all these wars, and you're still battle fodder. They know his story sucks. The developers, the writers know.
A lot of them are just straight up calling him mentally retarded, though, like direct references to his lack of intelligence.
See, I'm okay with that because that's nothing new. But the fact that he smells really bad, that's new, and I don't like that. I think we could have done without that.
Well, it's okay if he's brain not eloquent in all of his intros, so it's just being mean.
I got used to the idea of him being brain damaged. I accepted that. I wish we could sophisticate Reptile. Why does he have to be so trashy and dirty? Why can't we balance the civilized aspect of Reptile with the primitive aspect of Reptile? I don't know why the primitive aspect dominates so bad.
Because he can't be civilized until he gets laid, and that's the paradox. Because they're never going to make him happy. Then how interesting is he?
I have never agreed with the direction of Reptile since MK4. I feel like the Reptile I loved has been going away more and more with every game, but I was getting used to it. So when they introduce more shitty things about Reptile, it kind of takes me off guard, but...
Well, his ending, at the very least this time through, was a nice one to see. I don't expect it to be anything more than a throwaway ending, but it was a nice nod to conspiracy theories, as it were.
I was genuinely surprised they remembered the Zaterran backstory.
Yeah,
the idea that they're not actually from Zaterra, they're immigrants from Earthrealm.
Yep. And it all actually works.
We're talking about guys who can't remember that Sub-Zero's mother was American, so...
They did a bit more homework this time through, and I approve completely. It's going to be a throwaway. We'll probably not hear it referenced again, but if we can actually get kind of a Zaterran exodus going from Earth, that would be amazing to me. Loved it.
It's funny they don't remember that Sub-Zero's mother was American, because if you look at his design without the beard, he still looks very not Asian. Kenshi does not look Asian to me at all.
You have to wonder how much of it is the artists know that he's supposed to be half Chinese, and how much of it is them just going, "Oh, let's make his face look like John Turk." Right, though? I mean, that's why he's half Chinese, because they wanted an explanation for why John Turk was playing him.
But that's a good explanation. I was okay with that.
Am I the only one who does not give two shits about Sub-Zero's ethnicity?
No, I like the idea that he's half and half. I like the cultures
Well,
mixing together.
it's important to his backstory to establish that, like, his dad is a Lin Kuei, and he was on a mission in another country when he had his kids, so he like took them away from their mother and took them to the clan. Like that's fleshing out. So his ethnicity actually gives him character in this instance.
How often does it come up? Did it come up at all on MK9? Because I don't remember it coming up at all.
No, it never came up.
It
I
didn't.
feel like
you're talking about MK9.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Nothing came up in MK9 that would have.
is it going to be important ever again?
It's important every time you see his face, though, you know, because
It's
he
important
doesn't
to
look.
his personality. It's not a plot point. It
Really feel
explains
like it's
why he is the way he is.
I feel like it's inconsistent in the past, sure, but I just feel like it's just minutiae at this point.
I think it
feels like
affects
such
The
an
argument I'm
irrelevant
making is
thing.
that minutia is there for a reason.
I guess, but we're never going to see it compounded on again, so I just don't see any point wasting time going over how John Turk looked like this in one game, and I'm so sick of it. I'm sorry.
Well, imagine a
It's-
different scenario.
The alternative
it's
is
up there
being
with-
inconsistent from one game to the next, which,
It's-
I mean, they
it's-
already do a lot of the times, but the argument is that they should not be doing that.
I feel like if we're going to actually have this discussion, we should go in the direction of Tanya or Jade and their skin color instead. Because to me, that's much more of a
that is
gross
sort of where I'm
inconsistency.
leading, is
But they're aliens, though, so you can actually kind of rationalize
yeah, but
that.
it doesn't matter. Nobody's talking about their ethnicity. They're talking about their appearance. See, that's my problem with every time somebody goes, Jade's not black, she's Edenian. It's not about where she's from. It's about what color she looks like. That's
Even
the
if you're
important
going with
thing.
appearance, though, I still think Tony looks Middle Eastern, even in MK4.
I don't
I think it
care
looks
about
more
Middle
Indian.
Eastern. I care the shade of brown.
Oh, well, we're talking about complexion purely.
I just want her to match
that's fair.
MK4 and Deception.
Tremor's
going
got a
back to what we
shade
were
of brown
saying.
for you.
I don't know. Is he Indian? I don't even know. But
No.
here's another thing, though. Like, what if Jax looked like John Turk? Would it still be irrelevant? Would it still not play into the
That's
character?
a pretty major change.
But
from
I argue it's the same principle. Why shouldn't Sub-Zero look Asian
I
then if
would
he's
say
Asian?
the way Tanya looked in the original MKX DLC reveal was a pretty major change. Thank God they fixed it now, but it
Yeah,
was
she-
night and day from that Tanya
Would
to
you
the
say-
Tanya in previous games. I didn't
would you say
recognize
why-
the character except that she was wearing yellow and
Which
had that
wasn't-
raccoon face paint.
It wasn't
they-
pea green though anymore.
I thought they
It looked
completely
better.
rebooted her appearance.
Yeah,
just-
her clothes did look kind of greenish in the first reveal.
I think they look great now.
Green
I
and
actually have no
purple.
problem with their design.
I don't know. I feel like in terms of Sub-Zero, they keep on trying to go for this half Asian, half Caucasian look, and they can never nail it. They can't stay consistent. But I don't feel like it's for lack of them trying.
I'm happy with the way he looks in this game.
Yeah, me too overall. I just, it's distracting is what I mean. But it doesn't look bad.
All right.
That's
On that note, we are at 117. Did you guys want to kind of give our overall review on the game itself? Because we've been, or at least I have been promising that we'd do that over the past couple of weeks. We kind of were wanting to break it up into parts, and I think you
not
guys
do that
covered.
yet?
What's that?
I guess we reviewed story mode.
And gameplay individually.
We reviewed
didn't
story mode, gameplay, and then tonight was supposed to be more just the game in general, which you guys covered a lot of the or a decent chunk of the story, and so we can continue that on the next episode. But in terms of like overall review on the total package,
Before we do that, can we talk a little bit about how Tanya's been redesigned completely from the ground up now that we're here?
She's wearing the
Look at-
same clothes. They made her browner, they changed her hair, and her eyes are white now. That's the difference. Which, most of those are good things.
I feel like it's a redesign in favor. My initial reaction was Egyptian crack whore. I'm happy to say I'm happy to say that
See,
that's
her
no
clothes
longer
still
really
look
the case.
Egyptian. She still has the
She's no
straight
longer-
across bangs.
Her face is no longer gaunt and sunken. She doesn't look like she's been up since like 5 a.m. jonesing for a heroin
Yeah,
shot.
her
which
face
is my
is
big
softer,
problem.
her lips are fuller, she looks more pretty. That's definitely a plus.
I thought both looked good. I thought both looked alright. I had no problem.
Pretty
with
doesn't
Tanya's
matter to me,
design.
but
See, I
in
thought
this scenario,
the first
to me,
reveal looked hideous.
that just
The
didn't look
model
like
in
Tanya.
story mode looks kind of okay. This one looks like Tanya to me. This is how she
That's-
should look.
Exactly. That's all I want.
Although I have the same problem with the white eyes that I did the first time they were introduced to Deception. Why are they white?
At least there are no galoshes this time
If there
through.
is an explanation, I will buy it. I just would like to hear one. She's not a dead person. She's not a god. Maybe she's a sorceress, like how Shang had white eyes in MK1 through 3, and Nightwolf had white eyes in MK3. That's the only explanation I can think of. Except they don't do that with Shang and Nightwolf anymore.
It's probably gonna be variation specific. I don't think she's gonna have the white eyes in every variation.
Yeah, we'll see.
She's actually wearing black pants through and through this time through. No galoshes. My greatest fear is allayed.
Well, you already saw what she was wearing in story mode, so.
I'm sorry, what's a galosh? I don't know what that is.
It's a big rain boot.
Rain slickers. And I just, to me, the little raccoon
boot she
mask,
wore in Deception, Shadaloo has always complained about.
I despise these. I don't even care about the fucking raccoon mask. I hate the fact that she looks like she's getting ready to like go singing in the rain. That's what bothers me. Nice costume otherwise, but that's the one element that pisses me off, and I'm so glad it's gone.
Alright, I'm Googling.
In Deception, I only ever played with their alt costume, because I missed the MK4 look the most.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree.
Now you'll never unsee it. Fucking galoshes. Anyway.
It does have a little bit of a Curious George vibe to it, so okay, fair enough. At first, because in MK4 I thought they looked good. In her alternate, I thought the boots looked okay, but when they stopped before the kneecaps, yeah, that looks kind of tacky. But okay, fair enough.
That's all I wanted to say. That's it. I've said my piece. Back to reviewing the game as Cyborg wished to.
Okay, Shadowloo, what are your overall thoughts on this game, and what would you rate it?
Makes me hard. I would like to engage in relations with it. Not perfect. Not perfect. Overall, though, man, I'm gonna say I can't rate this game too low, but it does have its fair share of problems. Online problems, slight story problems. Maybe not an optimal character roster, but I mean, I've got to look past my own perspective on that. I feel like 8.5 is really that magic number. Maybe 9. Maybe 9.
Okay. Razor?
I kind of hate numbering. Like, I'm not the guy who rates, like, can't I just give it a thumbs up?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to give it a number. You don't have to do anything. Overall, what are your thoughts on the game is the main point of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's the best they've done so far. I mean, they're always improving. Like, 9 was the best when it came out, and now this is a bit better than 9. Story-wise, again, better than 9. Probably, I mean, I liked the story overall. I maybe not as good as Deadly Alliance, but just because that's still kind of my reigning favorite plot-wise, but, like, I like most of the new characters. I wish the roster was maybe 10 characters deeper. 8 to 10. And those would be some very specific picks that we've mentioned before. Most of them are NPCs in this game. I would just have, would like to see them on the roster. If I were to give it a number, somewhere between 8 and 9, but yeah, just thumbs up in general. I really like this one overall.
Cool. Tim?
I'm going to give it a 6.5 for 2 reasons. The first one being the roster. Now, you could say that's subjective, but I can only give my perspective. That's all. I can't give anyone else's, and that directly affects the replay value. How many characters I want to learn is going to affect my experience with the game directly. So in a game where my mains are Sub-Zero and Raiden, your roster is ass. That's a shitty fucking roster, In the whole universe of the Mortal Kombat world, those are the characters I'm using. And I love those. Okay, let me say this. I was love at first sight with Thunder God back in July. I love the variation. I love the character. I'm not down talking Raiden at all. He's great. Sub-Zero's great too, but
Yeah, I think it's actually like a positive for the game that for once Raiden is actually like a fun-looking character.
he plays the way I always want him to play. He is the Big Trouble in Little China Raiden. He's a thunder god. He's actually doing electricity and shit. You know, that's awesome. I love that, but I don't know. I'm trying to learn as many characters as I can. I got about 3 characters I'm comfortable with, and I'm learning 2 more, and I have 1 next on the chopping block after that I'm going to try to learn. Chopping block probably wasn't a good word for that. That's usually used for other topics. But what I mean is, it's very good, but it affects how much I play the game and the extent to which I play the game. It affects how much I want to learn the game, you know? I don't want to learn matchups if the other character is fucking Kano, you know? And nothing against Kano fans, of course. If you like the character, great. Kano is just a generic metaphor for the number of characters I didn't want in this game who happen to be in this game. That includes the new ones, you know, and they could have sold me on the new characters, but they didn't. They didn't make the children too interesting. They didn't do anything with Aaron Black. They destroyed Devora in my eyes. I didn't think I could hate that character more, but that is by far my least favorite character on the roster, even more than, like, Kotal or the children. Like, I really don't like Devora. I hope we never see that character again. And I'm going to see her a lot at tournaments because she's very viable, you know? So, dumbass, one-dimensional, evil character with no fucking motive. So
And vagina
I still like Devora, but it would
vagina
be really nice to know why she's on fucking Shinnok's side.
Yeah, it just seems so pulled out of their asses, you know? So the roster really hurts this game, but the gameplay is really good. In terms of the engine, I love it. I still have to take points off because I feel like there's a lot of problems with the coding. Inputs in this game are fucking weird. I thought it was just me at first, so I didn't say anything in the last episode. But now that I'm watching tournament footage, and I'm seeing people do back-forward inputs, full screen, and they get a standing jab,
Yep.
why the fuck does that happen? That's not acceptable. This is 2015. Code your game right. And fucking just cancel windows. They're not tight. They're weird. They don't work for strange, weird-ass reasons. Sometimes you have to queue your buttons. Sometimes you can't queue your buttons. Why? I don't get it. You know, they changed the inputs on fucking Scorpion Spear. Why not change Johnny Cage's fucking, you know, nut punch? Back, forward, down on an arcade stick is awkward as hell. I mean, if it was a quarter circle back, that'd be way easier. So, little dumb things they could have made, you know? And little dumb things they did make that they shouldn't have made. Why are you changing Sub-Zero's Ice Ball? Why is that different? Are you trying to create dissonance between MK9 skill and fucking MK10 skill? Or MKX skill? Just why, you know? But the game, positive. Let's talk positive. The game is unbelievably deep. Rushdown is so fun in this game. Movement is so fun in this game. I feel like your resources matter so much more. And I hated Breaker in the last game. I feel like I got a setup, it worked, I should get damage, you know? But in this game, even though the Breaker is back, you're not as, you know, coerced into using it because damage is not quite as high, although that's changing. My bread and butter with Raiden is 45%. Kung Jin gets, I think, easily 30-something% with no meter. Katana gets 30-something% with no meter, so that could change. But if someone uses a Breaker and I got someone in a setup, they lose all their stamina. So their mobility options go to shit. That's good. I don't want people using Breaker, you know? So that's awesome. And they made a lot of characters fun who I feel like have not been fun in a long time. Kano, I think, is really fun. I really like what they did with Kano. Raiden, obviously. Sub-Zero looks amazing. Scorpion feels great. So much of this game just feels awesome. Reptile's a lot of fun, too. I don't know how viable he's going to be when everything's said and done, but he feels really good. So it's a great game. 6.5.
Remember, kids, in the old days, that meant better than average.
Yes,
It
this
does
ain't
not mean
GameSpot.
shit.
Yeah, before IGN came along, that was actually a positive score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you on one point, though, and that's about the roster. I feel how you feel, but I've had to get used to this fact since, I don't know, MK4-ish, whatever. I've come to accept, and I think this is something that NRS has to take into account, that a lot of the B or C list tier characters, in our eyes, are fan favorites, as opposed to theirs. They've got to let go of that concept of, like, the MK1 and 2 roster being the penultimate guys who always have to be in every game. And it's like they're afraid to let go of more than 1 or 2 of them at any point during any game. We're all saying it.
I
We
think
don't
on
need
a certain
Jax
level
and
they do
Sonya.
realize it. It's just that this game was specifically about passing the torch, so both the old and the new had to be in the same one.
That's
I
fair.
think the next one might be Sans, Sonya, and Jax.
I won't complain if it is.
Hopefully.
But I've had to get used to just every other game or every 2-3 games seeing the people I like Smoke and Sector, actually being around. We're a little bit spoiled coming after MK9 because it was just UMK3 but with more options. And that's
Well, I'm not that spoiled.
almost everyone's
Remember,
favorite. Yeah.
my favorite character is Lee May, so I still didn't really get my
fair.
fill with MK9.
Yeah, like if your favorite characters are in the 3D area, you're generally fucked over and over again.
Oh, this is true. No doubt about that. But maybe next time. I'm just saying, I know the pain of losing characters. So I steel myself before every game comes out to go, the people I like will probably not be here. It's nice if they do, but I have to prepare myself if they aren't. Doesn't mean I can't go into denial like Smoke for like a couple months there, but it hurts a lot less if you psych yourself up for it.
Honestly,
Through my
if your
experience
favorite
anyway.
characters from MK3, you're fucked more often than you're not. That's a really narrow window.
How you doing, Mataro
favorite-
fans? You okay?
Yeah, I was about to say, if your favorite characters from mythologies, you're just fucked. You should kill yourself.
Jesus,
Well,
not
all the
literally.
good mythologies characters have the advantage
please
of having
don't kill
crossed over to
yourselves.
the main series.
One
Like,
day,
the only
Kia and
ones who
Jataka
have
fans.
not made
One
it
day.
are Kia, Jataka, and the other 3 element gods.
Still holding out
And
hope
who
for
wants
that.
to fight as a giant rock?
I'm still holding out hope for that fire elemental guy, man. I really like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, the fire god had the most interesting design besides Fujin, because he looked like he was wearing actual clothes.
Made of fire, and it was hardcore.
Clothes made of fire, yeah.
All right,
Oh,
And he
so
was basically Blaze with samurai armor on.
we
Not
got
about it. Yeah, what's up?
Shadow. You gave it a 9.
At the end of the day, I'm going to say 8.5 because the online is problematic and they need to fix that shit.
Okay, so you got an 8.5. Razor, you gave it a 9.
Yeah, something around there.
Okay, 8 to 9. Yeah, that's
Technically,
right.
I gave it a
remember.
thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. And Temp said 6.5.
Yes, but with the netcode, I want to just add
Gotcha.
that real quick, that there's some inconsistencies. When it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's usually means I'm playing Justin. But it's not just I'm joking,
might just
Justin.
be
I love
him.
you. But no, it's inconsistent in that I do have to take some points off for that. So that's why the score is a little lower than usual. But as you're probably going to talk about, there's some issues with the matchmaking. But yeah, go on, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, my thoughts on the game are I'll just say my score right away. I'm going to give it an 8. It's gone down a little bit since I initially would have rated it in the first week, and that's why I felt it was important we wait a couple weeks before we kind of weigh in on something like this as the game as an overall package. For me, I played it a ton when it was first out, and as all of you have noticed, I've really dropped off heavily, and that's just my personality. But with this game particularly, my problem with it is my biggest thing that was going to keep me wanting to play one of them, I should say, was those team battles, and yeah, well, those are just fucking useless, because if you can't find people to play against, then there's nothing to do. Anytime Temp and I have tried to play team battles since, like, the initial time we got it to work a couple times, the initial night or whatever the hell that was, when we first tried it, anytime we've tried it since, we're lucky to get a game within maybe 30 minutes of searching, and not, just sitting, we're not just sitting in one lobby for 30 minutes, but we'll spend like 5 minutes in this lobby, nobody shows up, we'll spend 5 minutes in another one, we'll be like one person short, and then all of a sudden people get impatient and start dropping out. Basically, it doesn't have a living presence to make it work, and you can matchmake it and search it and stuff, but I don't know if there's not enough people searching. I don't know if not enough people are interested, or if their matchmaking is just not good at pairing people together.
I'm thinking it might be interesting because you know what? There are no rewards for doing team battles or anything. No alt costumes, no skins or shit like that. That might be a big factor leading people to stay away because what's in it for me? Which is really unfortunate.
It is, and that's a shame because I don't know. Fighting games for me, it's like, okay, I can do one-on-one so many times until I'm just like, okay, what now? What are we gonna do now? I get bored after a while. I mean, I can do 20 matches of one-on-one and be like, this is fun, this is fun. But then eventually, you feel like you're just hitting a brick wall where you're just, you're continually doing the same thing over again. That's okay. I guess I want something else. I want variety in the form of what can I do next? What can I do to keep this interesting? And they don't have a tag mode. They gave us team battle, which I thought was really freaking cool. And I sung the praises of that with Temp, I think in the initial podcast after the game came out. But it doesn't work. It just, I mean, it works fine, but it doesn't, nobody's doing it. There's not enough people playing it to make it happen. And there's plenty of people playing this game. At least there was initially, so I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, and the teams seem to have evened out more too. Like the last invasion, White Lotus won. Lin Kuei didn't win something.
Those fucks.
Actually, on a note, I logged in like right before this podcast started, and I swear to God, it said White Lotus won, and it congratulated me. The problem is, I just hit level 50, and I haven't switched yet. I'm still Lin Kuei. Why am I getting points? Don't know.
I think it was a
little
generic.
concerned.
I think it's that message. Everybody sees it. And it's like congratulations to the White Lotus.
Because we're all friends, right?
Sure.
But you know what?
Ambiguous.
It's not just the 5-minute room switch. I think I hit the 45-minute mark. I wasn't on the Skype. I wasn't hanging out with you guys. I just wanted to play faction battles. I wanted to, watch YouTube at the same time. 45 minutes I idled in a room with like 2 people going in and out. And I just gave up. That's unacceptable.
It's because they don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to like good matchmaking, and that pisses me off about this game is I don't know what the hell to say to them, because it's a fantastic game gameplay wise, but once again, if you're living and dying by the online gameplay and match made games where you're just randomly facing people, it's still not enough for me personally. I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, going up against randoms in ranked, I don't care for, because I'll get like 5 games where I just completely destroyed the people I'm facing. I'll get maybe 1 competitive match where it feels like we're on even keel, and then I'll get a couple where I'm just in way over my head, where I'm facing somebody that has 300 wins and maybe 40 losses. And it's just like, what the fuck? I've in MK9, and I feel like I've said this before, maybe last week or something, but in MK9, I've been matched up against people that have gotten 12,000 wins in ranked and maybe 500 losses. It's like, why am I facing this person if I've played maybe a total of 150 ranked games? I don't. And the reason is because they just want you to be able to play the game. I can understand that, but okay, say I go into ranked. How much fun is that going to be if eventually it just whittles down to such a huge extreme difference between the people that have been there forever that are amazing and the people that are just trying to get into it? Ranked is useless because you're just going to get your ass handed to you. Or like I said, the amount of matches that you actually get that are competitively even and fair, it doesn't add up. It just frustrates me. So there's that. Those are ranked matches. And then there's, like I said, the team battles. And as Shadowloo was saying, because the teams aren't fair, well, not all team battles are even faction-based. You can do 3 versus 3 player matches where it doesn't matter what faction you're on. You still have trouble filling up a 3 versus 3 game. That's the one that takes forever as well. 5 versus 5 takes forever. Ranked team battles, which you still can't go in with each other. You should be able to get a party together and go into ranked, go into faction. Why can you not do that? Why do you have to jump through hoops and play these games of, hey, let's search at the same time and hope we get into a game together? Because you can do that maybe successfully with 1 other person, maybe 2 if you want to be patient. But with a group of 5, are you going to all sit there and keep searching until you can all get into the same room at the same time with their shitty ass our netcode that is supposed to match you up for whatever formulas they're using to make that happen? I don't know, but I feel like there's, on the online front, I feel like they should be able reach out to reach out to Halo netcoders, or Call of Duty or even KI or whatever, and get a good system in place for matchmaking that encourages people to try different game modes and, like Razor said, have rewards for those other game modes, but also make it so you can find matches reasonably. This is 2 weeks out from the game, and even like 5 nights out from when the game was released, we couldn't find team battles worth the shit. And that's a problem. And maybe there's only like 40 people playing, but why can't I find the other 35?
To me, dude, like, what really makes me upset is that this is Warner Brothers. They can afford their own servers. They can buy servers for the game. I mean, my gosh, man, put that fucking microtransaction money to good fucking use. But they don't do it. For some reason, they won't do it. I don't get that. That makes no sense to me.
Anyways, it's just frustrating because I lost interest on getting together and trying to orchestrate something like that, because it's essentially like, hey guys, do you want to potentially, waste 50 minutes of our night, if not more, trying to find these matches? Okay. And then eventually we just all get bored and we're like, well, you want to do one-on-one? Okay, we'll do that.
Well, here's what bugs me. Like, in MK9, you could set up a room, start a King of the Hill, other people could just find it and join in on their own. Is that even possible in this game? Because it looks to me like the King of the Hills are invite only.
It's
Unless
really
you just
weird.
go to random public.
It's the King of the Hill system is really weird. From what I've experienced, you can go into a room and another person can go into a room, and then when you're in that room, you can click the options, King of the Hill, and then you choose the people you want to invite.
Yeah,
you can't just create
they all
your
have
own.
To be there at the very start.
Right.
Like, people can't show up late and just hop in.
So yeah, somebody has to join initially for it to even be created, and then on top of that, yes, I've tried any King of the Hill you click on, like if you see somebody's name to click on, it says like waiting for approval or something like that. Like it's asking the host whether it's like everyone is locked with a password basically. Like, hey, is this person allowed in your King of the Hill? I don't understand that. I don't. And you can randomly player search for King of the Hill matches, and it seems like that gets you in.
Yeah, but like if we wanted to stream like a Netherkast King of the Hill like we've always done and have just people show up, it doesn't work that way anymore.
Right. It's so
that doesn't seem as fun to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. And that's what I was going to say next was, eventually after we get tired of trying to look for team matches and just getting like, okay, let's just play. I'm tired of waiting. The night is not getting young. So, or it's not getting any earlier. So let's just do one-on-one. Okay, we do that for a while until eventually it's like, okay, had enough of that. Let's try King of the Hill. That's okay. That's something. You run into this or that, and then okay, what's next? It's like I don't know. I don't know. It just the way it's structured just does not appeal to me. I want to be able to just get on and do team battles, play one-on-one, do some team battles, and just bounce back and forth and have fun. And it's not. I don't know. It's just very, very frustrating to me, the way they did that. But other than that, the crypts, I don't know. I'm not really that interested in the crypt. It's done well. It's just not something that's appealed to me. I don't know.
I like the crypt.
No, yeah, like it's well done, like I said.
Mean, if nothing else, the way they handled the content in the crypt this time, where concept art has actual fucking text like it did in the older games, that's worth something.
Oh, yes, of course. Definitely.
I do agree, though. I don't like the crypt experience. It's really tedious to me.
I really enjoy it, and I just think it'd be a lot less tedious if they would just fucking let you save your position,
right,
rather than forcing you to trudge back from.
Well, I would say two things. Let you save your position and fucking letter and number the goddamn coffins so you can find them, so you know which ones you've opened and which ones you haven't.
That's what I was gonna say next. Was I hate going into the crypt and having to start all over and walk my ass to wherever the hell I was last, and I'm just so confused by the whole damn thing. I have no idea where the hell I am at any of it.
It's sort of graphically hard to tell with some of them whether they're open or not until you click on it. Okay, that's broken.
Because by that time, fuck you, spiders.
Yeah.
I just can't see shit. It's so dark. I don't. If I get to a stone, I have to get right up in its fucking grill to see if I've broken it or not. And fucking my monitor is not the best monitor, dude. It's fucking. it's seen better days. It's the fucking Danny Glover of monitors. So I don't have the best view inside that dark ass forest, you know? So yeah, it's a struggle, and it's not fun, and it's tedious, and it just half the time I'm not really getting anything I give a shit about. I don't need that many cuties in my fucking collection, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know, but this is nitpicking. This is not a huge deal. I'm sure all you guys agree, but it's not my favorite crypt.
I think the concept is great, and I don't know. I just think I like I said, I love the concept and the idea. I don't know. I feel like the execution could use some work. I don't want to start all the way over. In the issues that you guys mentioned. But I mean, I love the idea behind it. I love the idea of this immersive experience. It's just let me unlock my fucking content and get the hell out of here. I don't want to take 20 minutes just to find which thing I don't have, or to find that area again. Like, I don't want to have to map this out. I don't want to have to go on guides
I
online.
didn't come down there to play Five Nights at Freddy's. I just want costumes and concept art.
Yeah, I just want to buy the stuff so I can, be my completionist self and try and, because I gave up. That's the thing, is I don't do the crypt. I don't play the fucking game generally. It's just because I gave up. I just lost. I just felt like there came a point where it's just like there came the. Basically, I got up to that point where it's like, okay, if you want to progress with this game and like get real serious about it and unlock everything and get really good and learn all these other characters and get all the story endings, it's like, you're going to have to put this much time and effort into it. You're going to have to look up guides online about where the shit is in the crypt, and you're going to have to map this shit out. You're going to have to look up these tutorials online for this character and that character. And I'm just like, I'm fucking burned out. I've done this
There is an attitude of actively punishing people for being completionists and making them jump through hoops that are downright abusive, that started with injustice. And it's between how bad Star Labs was and the fact that you had to do some really ridiculous shit to get some of the costumes. Between that and the fact that, once again, for the second game in a row, there are costumes you can only get if you play the mobile game. I'm tired of having these empty slots on when I look at a character and all the costumes they've collected, and it's like, oh, I don't have Ninja Mime, there's a little lock symbol next to that one. I don't have classic Melina, there's a little lock symbol next to that one, and my OCD requires that I get them, but I can't, so I'm being punished for being the way I am. That's anti-consumer.
That's how I felt in MK9 about the two achievements. The My Kung Fu Stronger, you can go fuck yourself.
I'm like
that is bullshit.
I'm like 30 fights with smoke away from getting that, you guys. And then MK10 come out. Now I need to go back and do it, but I can't tear myself away from MK10 to do it.
You played 24 hours with every single character?
Yes.
Stop it. No, don't encourage them. That is bullshit.
No, I cheated. I fucking cheated.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point.
I took two people. I went to tag mode. I left them there.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that shit should not happen. They know people want... Okay, I should say, like many other people with achievements or just unlocking stuff in games or whatever, especially, it's only in the franchises that you care most about. The Arkham games, Arkham games, Mortal Kombat, like Halo and stuff like that. I try and beat everything that there is in the game. I try and unlock everything there is in the game, and that includes all the achievements. Kung Fu is stronger.
That's just City, but that's because it was fun to do.
Exactly, and that's my point. Is like, combos. What is this?
All those goddamn combo challenges. Fuck them all.
24
doing all of his moves in one combo.
I was just
24 hours.
Rabid to keep playing the game, and the Riddler trophies were an excuse.
24 hours? Like, what the fuck is this? No.
That was rather
with one
fun.
character is understandable. I think we could all get one character 24 hours just from learning the character and playing online consistently. In the long run, you'd eventually get it. I got it for Cyrex or Liu Kang or whoever the hell it was when we were all playing. But my point is, all of them... What? So they didn't include that this time. Great. But my other one was the 10 ranked wins. Okay, if you can get that in, like when the game first comes out, that's literally your only time to get it, because once people, unless you're really good, of course, unless you're good like tournament player status, you could get that anytime. Not a big deal. But for everybody else, ranked wins with their broken ass fucking non-true skill matchmaking system where you face the guy that has 5,000 wins and 20 losses. What the fuck are you gonna do? Because that happened to me with MK vs DC. I had one win away from like 25, I think it was, in ranked, which I was completely proud of myself, until I just faced a Wonder Woman that just completely shoved my own head up my own ass. Like, that's so frustrating. MK9, I had 9 wins in both tag and single before I lost one against a person that was just better than me. That's my point is, I don't know, it's just frustrating to me. Luckily, I got that one on the PS4 version already. But that's just my point. I just hate that shit. And that's my feelings of this entire game. It's like, Temp alluded to it earlier on how they lowered the coin value, which, whatever. I'm cool with making it so it has replay value. But then there's a point where it's just like, this is taking way too fucking long. Too much work. I don't want to invest this much time on this bullshit and doing this and that and the other thing. I just want to play the game and have fun, but I can't even do that online other than just playing one-on-one.
I understand the obsessive-compulsive desire to have every achievement and every costume, because I feel that too, but it is important to remember that these things are optional.
Right.
And I swear to God, if I had my way, trophies wouldn't exist. Trophies and achievements I find
like,
are
I don't really
disease
give
to
a shit
gaming.
about Chivos or nothing.
And
it just bothers me to go into the collection and see grayed out things I can't look at.
Definitely. But I applaud you for that, because I feel that the addition of trophies and achievements have just given rise to an entire population of gamers, a different generation that play games for no other purpose than getting achievements.
See, that I agree is stupid.
I've got a friend who goes and he'll take games out of the library, or he'll buy them for cheap. Shit like not celebrity, but like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Things you can platinum in an hour.
Yeah.
And he does this to raise his gamer score.
I know. That's what you call achievement whoring.
I don't understand this.
There's achievement hunter and there's achievement whoring. There is a distinct difference. When I liken it to achievement hunter is when you play a game that you legitimately are invested in and want, and you would have bought anyways. You want everything. You want to complete everything that there is. You want to feel like you accomplished everything there is accomplished with that game. Achievement whoring is exactly what you just said. Somebody that rents games that are notoriously easy just so they can get.
It's like, why are you playing this when you can
trophies.
Be playing a game you actually enjoy? Isn't that what a game is all about?
There's a Guinness Book of World Records record for the person with the most gamer score. That's just encouraging that behavior.
I don't know. I have 2 points. The first point is the 10 ranking one, or the 10 wins in rank. I have a big problem with that myself because
it encourages quitting, rage quitting.
It does that too, but even more so than that, I'm not just competing in the game, I'm competing against lag. So it's not really a question of skill anymore. I was playing an Ermac. I don't remember his name, and if I did, I'm not going to give him the fucking credit on this podcast. But I was playing him.
Sorry, Praetor.
no, Praetor, God bless his connection, dude. We had some good matches. Justin, too. I joke, but we had some really good matches today. The connection felt fine. What happened was, the lag was so bad. I was doing what I was doing. I'm like, okay, let's work with this. And if you were watching, you can identify the exact moment when that Ermac player realized I could not punish his fucking teleport with standing 2. And right after that, that's all he did, and it worked. There was nothing I could do. That's bullshit. So why even have the achievement in there when it's arbitrary luck if you're going to get it or not? Even with someone like me who understands the game is fighting a battle I shouldn't have to fight. So that's one criticism I have. And I went immediately into train mode. I'm like, okay, let's look at the fucking frame data. 7 frame jab. Negative, 15, 18 on block. Bullshit. The range was fine. God, pisses me off. Anyway, the second problem I have with it is if the achievements are bullshit, and we could say, well, achievements are optional, but for people who are not like me, what reason do they have to play the game then? There's nothing left to do. So the achievements do have to matter on some level, you know? I'm sure there's some dude who's willing to get the My Kung Fu is Stronger in the Jeopardy game. But that's not me. It's not a lot of people, you know? That's not replay. If it's not replay, then it's a problem. That's the only reason the achievement even exists in the first place.
Well, like somebody said before, is achievements should be fun. They should be fun. It was the Arkham City one, right, with Razor. they should be fun. And I got all the ones in Arkham Asylum, all in Arkham City, because they are fun. There's something that you would normally get, and there's something that you strive for, but they're not something that you have. But that's because Arkham games aren't multiplayer, other than Origins. But whatever. But
To be fair, there were some really pain in the ass trophies that drove me crazy.
which
Fuck combos. Just saying.
I especially remember the dive bomb rings thing, the very last one.
Oh yeah, that one's a
where you
bitch.
have to go through the like the clown tunnel or whatever it was.
Right, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That one was a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, I've always despised multiplayer achievements for this very reason. Because at the end of the day, you end up just going out of your way to have to get them. You have to do anything that encourages you to play in a way that's not necessarily or like positively showing off the game. Let's say, like for instance, if you're a Halo player, there's ones that are like, I'm not. I guess I can't. I don't have a great example, but it usually results to boosting because eventually, like people are like, "Oh, I can't get this on my own," because it either has to be a very specific circumstance that is highly unlikely to get this, or it's just really difficult. So I'm just gonna boost them.
That's how I feel about that fucking Hotshot Johnny Cage skin. Like I'm gonna have to resort to some kind of boosting.
Right. So I mean, they should just be fun.
I ain't getting no 10 wins in a row in a random King of the Hill Survivor. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's an example of one that you're likely. You're just very highly unlikely to get that. So then it just results to people having to feel like they're doing a chore to get it, and that's always the worst. That's what you need to avoid.
It becomes an obligation instead of just like if I'm playing Halo. And, like, I shoot somebody with a rocket launcher and out of midair, and there's an achievement for that. And I'm like, oh, cool, that just happened. Just naturally. I wasn't trying for that achievement. Or, like, if, you do a specific brutality in this game, and there's an achievement for that. I don't know, but it's like, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm glad I have it now, though. That's cool.
Yeah.
But there are certain ones where it's like, especially the online ones, where it's like the only way to get them is to specifically chase them down, and the criteria you have to meet is not a fun thing to do. Like, I don't want to play ranked at all ever, really.
Yeah, that's what I gotta go do after this to get my goddamn Revenant Liu Kang skin.
And you gotta get, it's, the Revenant skins, you have to fucking play ranked.
I got him.
Yeah, like I have every unlockable skin now except Hotshot Johnny. But I did not have fun getting some of them.
See, and that's I was just gonna say, see, that's the sad part is in the past few days, the only time I've played Mortal Kombat X is to hop on every once in a while to play ranked, just to have fun with the game. I do enjoy playing random people. Because, I mean, the main reason why I've lost interest in, like, playing against Temp or Justin is because I get my ass kicked so much that it's just like, what do I do? Like, it gets to a point where I'm just losing and losing and losing. Whereas ranked, it's almost like the opposite. I do really well in ranked, and I have a lot of competitive matches. Competitive matches are fun for me. I love to take my best and go against other people's best that are at least somewhat on my level. But my complaints earlier still pop up to where I'll do competitive matches, but then there's matches where I just completely destroy somebody, or matches where I get completely destroyed, and then there's the lag issue, like Temp said, and it's a mess. It frustrates the hell out of me. So that's literally the only thing I've done in the past few days. I don't care about towers anymore. I YouTube the endings because I get tired of doing. Somebody said tedious, and that's just how I feel about a lot of it. I don't know. I just feel it got tedious to me, and it's just like I just want to enjoy the game, and I don't know.
I'm really glad you mentioned the towers. I forgot about this completely. And it's not a criticism. It's an observation. Me and Jodan were playing. Jodan invited me to test your luck. I'm like, okay, this will be cool. Insanity. It's like a fucking bachelor party put on by Gary Busey. It's ridiculous. It was fun, but I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And me and Jodan played some really good games later, dude. He's getting a lot better at the game, of course. You know what? Shout outs to all the people I played. Praetor, Jodan, Subman 7th. Good shit. Or Subman 779, or is it 799? I don't know.
He knows who he
good
is.
Shit. Good stuff, guys. I look forward to more. Really good. Not test your luck, please. But test your luck. Go on.
Well, and then beyond that, other complaints of the game I've already stated in the previous weeks, like my thoughts on how a lot of the new characters, if not all, in my opinion, I was just really underwhelmed by. I went into this liking most, if not all of them, except for maybe Jackie. I was sold on just about every one of them, and I don't know, story-wise, I was disappointed. That's not obvious. You guys have at least liked half of them in most cases, but for some reason, I just felt like Ferrator just got lackied. Devora did not. I don't know. I'm not going to retread that. I'm not going to go.
I'm 100% with you. I only like Aaron Black. He's the only one I want to come back.
See, and that's even him. It's just like, I like what they mentioned about him being like his ending. I like him being around for that long or whatever the hell that was, and hired as a hired gun. But at the same time, somebody said it best on, I think, MKO is Cassie and Aaron Black the new Sonya versus Kano? Is that what we're dealing with now? And if that's the case, then if he's just going to be a mindless killer once again, like a hired gun with no... See, I like the comics where he didn't want to kill people unless he absolutely had to, in a sense that he was just in it for the money, but now it just seems like he's just... somebody pays him, he'll just off a mother and her child. That's what it came across.
I think in retrospect, it's more like he didn't want to kill Cassie and Jackie because they were the hostages. He needed them for leverage.
Right.
But that's
and
not
I guess,
as interesting. You're probably right, but it's not nearly as interesting.
Exactly, and that's not as interesting to me as a character. I want a character with conviction, and he's going to be another hired mindless gun that's just in it for money, and that's Kano. He just has a gun. And I like Kano, but I don't want another Kano. And yes, I
don't want one Kano.
You can differentiate.
I think Aaron has
differentiate them.
Loyalty going for him, and that's different from Kano.
You can see Kano will fuck anyone over because he finds it amusing, and that's another aspect of his character. He doesn't just work for the highest bidder; he works for whatever benefits himself the most, and for spite. Aaron doesn't give me that. It's not the same character. It's close, and I can get why people be upset about that, but I feel like it's an unfair comparison to make at this point.
I don't know if I agree with that, because if you look at the intro dialogues, it does look like he's out for the highest bidder. And I mean, we can say, oh, they're character dialogues, they don't matter. At some point, they have to matter. I mean, I can't believe they would arbitrarily put in character qualities. Yeah?
The notion of highest bidder is the kind of thing that could matter to Aaron Black in terms of story. It's something that they could use. Are they ever going to give Kano a story where the Special Forces goes, we'll give you 50,000 to put a bullet in Shao Kahn's head? No, they're not.
That's
Kano
fair.
is always going to be the bad guy. He's that, sleazy guy who works for the highest bidder, but the highest bidder is always going to be an antagonist, someone who does evil. Aaron Black could lean either way, and that's why I think he's interesting.
Well, you say that now, but if he offs Cassie and the gang, or Jax... You think he's getting hired by anybody good anytime soon?
He's probably not gonna.
He's gonna have a target on his back for the rest of the series. That's what he's going to be. He will be the new Kano, if not now, later. And
And look at his dialogue.
That's my impression. I don't know.
He has a dialogue where he respects certain people. Oh, shame to put you down. He's not just an asshole like Kano is.
He is incredibly horny, though. Super horny.
That is kind of funny, yes.
I like that too. I think it's a good character.
I love all of his dialogues with Sonya.
And it's not like Kano where it's kind of gritty, perverted. No, he's just flirting. That's interesting to me, But I don't know. My worry is more of a metafictional one. To me, when they do those character dialogues, fine. Maybe they have no canonical relevance.
Are you there?
Yeah, Tim?
I think he disappeared on us.
All right. Well, anyways, I don't mean to come off
I think
like
you
I
just-
don't enjoy the game. I love the game. The game is incredibly fun. It has amazing gameplay. Yep, there he goes. It has it has amazing gameplay. That
He
is
got swallowed into the dimension where the intros take place.
right. But so don't take it like, oh, I just hate everything about this game. How could I give it an 8 if I don't even like the game? That's not it at all. It's just I do like the game. There's so much going for it, but just the things, it just bothers me. I guess I've been waiting a while to just get this all out, because I've just been frustrated with, I don't know, I just feel like I want to play this game a ton, and the only thing that's stopping it is the fact that I feel like I don't have the will and the patience to go through every little tower and go through the crypt, and I don't have the desire to go online to look up everything. There's still even I haven't seen half the roster's second fatalities. I don't know. It's so weird. It's such a weird, and also I think a lot of it is my own fault and just the price I pay basically for doing the show. All you guys do the show too, and you're not suffering from it, but I'm definitely suffering from burnout major from doing this show for 6 months, because I've had it the worst, because I was part of every recording we've ever done and had an extra hour of editing and stuff. So it's just like, I feel like I'm just finally ready for a vacation, you know?
You want to take a break till after I'm done those endings in a couple of months, man. I understand.
In a couple of months. Nice.
No, but seriously, we can like wait till Jason if you want to. I'm open for that.
Well, Jason's just next week anyways.
Is he? How about the
Yeah.
week afterwards? What is it?
May 5th, I think, is when it
Okay,
comes
so
out.
now we're obligated to come back next week.
Well, we're gonna figure out. We're definitely gonna have to retool something, because I definitely need a vacation from this just for a little bit in some fashion. Maybe Django can sit in if you guys want to keep going, but I just feel like doing this for 6 months, almost 50. It ranged from like 5 to 20 hours a week of just nonstop talking about this. It's just like I'm ready to like step away and then rejuvenate and come back, and then hopefully all these little nitpicks I have with the game and these struggles and these roadblocks of just like, I don't want to put in the effort, because I feel like I've just analyzed every little thing to the point where putting forth that effort, I feel like I should just be handed it, which I know sounds completely entitled and lazy and stuff, but it's just like, and I'm not that type of person, but it's just like, yeah, I think it's just it's definite burnout, and anyways, that's why I didn't want to come off incredibly negative, but I do like the game. It has so much going for it, and incredibly fun. I anytime I do play it, I'm having a lot of fun. I play it in my alone time. I haven't joined in with you guys in a while, just because, like I said, it seemed I got in a rut with Katana where I did decent, but then once like Temp and well, I'm not even gonna talk about Justin, because that fucking Takeda can go fuck himself. But Temp,
I
on the
can't
other
wait
hand,
to see some of this shit stream. I keep hearing terrible things about this Takeda, and I'm like, this is really to be feared, isn't it? But I can't see you guys play.
yeah, true. But I mean, Temp's doing great, and he eventually just completely surpassed me, head and shoulders above me, and it's frustrating. And nobody likes to lose that much, and I like to, if I'm winning like 3 out of 10, it's fine. But it got to a point where I'm just getting my ass handed to me. So I enjoy playing people on equal skill level, or a little bit better than me, or a little bit worse. I think that's a nice feeling, because it feels very competitive. But regardless, rambling at this point. So there you have it, folks. All of our Temp's still gone, so let's wrap this up.
Before he gets back? I just
guess.
want to like say very briefly, though, we have a unique problem when it comes to our complaints about characters like Aaron Black. You don't get this in other fighting games, and MK's kind of almost fallen into kind of a trap zone, where we actually do expect a certain level quality of writing for each and every character and a role for them to fulfill. This shit does not matter to any other fighter, and I guess that's why, to me, I suppose at the end of the day, I am grateful and I love the fact that story matters in a fighting game, at least insofar as MK is concerned. It's still it's still a hugely important thing to me, and I wish that all fighters would follow that example.
Right.
But I try to remind myself that for me, the fact that I have interesting characters, even if they're not the most well developed, is amazing. That's all.
Yeah. All right, well, on that note, I guess we will wrap this up because I don't even know if Temp is back online. Something must have happened. Is Razor still here?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still here.
Well,
Temp is back.
okay. Temp, you there?
Hey.
Okay.
So
We're just going to wrap things up. I wasn't sure. I kept going on my feelings, but it's done now.
I was gonna say my last bit about Aaron Black. What was the last thing you guys heard?
I don't know. Just I can't
I'll
remember.
make it quick.
Okay.
Basically, my biggest problem with Aaron Black is not anything in the story, but it's a metafictional issue. How the dialogues go, whether they're canon or not, it tells me how the developers see the character and how basically what they think the character should be. So he's going to be a one-dimensional, treacherous, out-for-the-money kind of character. The way they portray the characters, it does not give me any hope that there's going to be any future depth or any sort of long-term motive. Yeah?
To be fair, the way Aaron talks is consistent with any and every cowboy that's not a sheriff. There's no honor in the Old West. It's not a thing.
Give him a reason to have honor, though. I feel like loyalty is an honor. I mean, loyalty is not honorless, is it? I said earlier I didn't think he was truly loyal, so I don't even know how far that goes.
That depends entirely on how loyal Aaron is, because I get the impression from story mode that he serves Kotal for more than just money, that he has like some kind of love of passion for the realm of Outworld itself. Like, he actually likes it more than Earth. And, like, he enjoys the culture, and that's why he lives there. And he sides with Kotal, not just because Kotal pays him, but because Kotal is actually the best possible ruler right now.
You know what? It actually makes a lot of sense, because he would miss the Old West. And Outworld is wild.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair. I mean, I can't argue with that. It's hard to be optimistic, I guess, but that's pretty much all I had to say.
All right. Well, on that note, yes, that would be episode 28. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I do want to thank everybody that's liked us on Facebook in the past, and obviously followed us or subscribed to us on YouTube and followed us on Twitter and all that nonsense and whatnot in the hoopla. But Facebook especially, I feel like we've got like 100. We got like 89 likes in just the past week, and that's crazy. So
I want to put something forward at some point. See if we can get some input on this, if people like this idea. I recently made the wise purchase, or unwise purchase, depending on your point of view, of the Mortal Kombat Conquest series. Now, I had won this series previously from Mortal Kombat Online about a couple of years back. Thing is, they were Region 2 DVDs, so these are like PAL region. So in order to play these, you would actually need to like reprogram your DVD player, have like a region-free DVD player, or whatever have you. Now, this leaves me with 2 copies of Mortal Kombat Conquest. If anyone out there has a Region 2 DVD player and be interested, I'd be willing to part with these. If you can win a tournament. Dun dun dun! I'm just saying.
Defend the realm of Earth in a tournament
pair of
called
MK
Mortal
Conquest
Kombat.
Region 2 DVDs. If we can at some point maybe hold a future tournament on Twitch or something, I'm willing to send these out to a winner. That's all. Let me know if you're interested and have the equipment necessary to use them, and they can be yours.
Every 10 years, the best of Earth's combatants come together to win a copy of Mortal Kombat Conquest.
all right. Well, there you go.
Vastly more important than your ego. Your
Razor will corrupt the tournament.
Quest for revenge.
We'll definitely follow up
Or
on that and give you
TNA.
some more information on that and whatnot. So that's very cool of Shadowloo, and we will figure out how exactly he wants to do that. So we'll definitely have more information on probably next week's episode or just on Twitter or Facebook. Just stay tuned, and we'll definitely figure something out. But on that note, adios, sirs and ladies.
Later.
Take it easy, folks.